Hello, dear viewers. Support me by subscribing to my channel and share my video if you like it. And also, make sure you comment your thoughts. Now let's start the video. Such behavior goes against everything angels stand for, making it tough for me to protect you, the Grand Priest said with a frown. Even after hundreds of millions of years, Murno hadn't changed at all. Angels shouldn't have emotions. Staying neutral was their main job. Most angels got this except for Murno, who had once been the Grand Priest's favorite and successor. Murno had broken the angel rules. You two, come with me. Cognac stays here, the Grand Priest ordered, glancing at Zeno, who was napping, before leaving the temple with the two angels. Meanwhile, in the 7th universe, Goten and Murno were locked in a fierce battle, both using portals. The fight had been going for over 10 minutes, and they were evenly matched. Goten's legendary bloodline was kicking in, making him stronger as he fought. Even with injuries, Murno seemed to enjoy himself, thrilled to see Goten getting stronger. What's his deal? Goten thought, he can't win, so why is he laughing? I haven't sensed any killing intent from him. As the battle dragged on, Goten started to doubt his first impression of Murno as an evil angel. Murno had let him kill Quaital and hadn't gone all out. It felt more like training. What was his goal? Boom. They exchanged heavy punches, both staggering back. Belmont and Rumshi were in shock, realizing Goten could wipe them out in an instant, and Murno wouldn't stop him. Fear gripped them as they recalled Quaital's fate. After regaining his footing, Goten shot forward. What's your purpose? I didn't feel any killing intent from you during our fight, he asked. You're incredible, Goten. The strongest mortal I've ever seen. You could change everything. It's an honor to meet you after billions of years, Murno replied, excitement shining in his eyes. Seriously, I don't get what you're saying. And using Vidil to threaten me, that's unforgivable. Goten's expression darkened, and he attacked again. Murno quickly countered, wanting to see Goten grow stronger. Boom. Boom. The universe shook as they fought. Whis and Beerus watched, knowing they couldn't stop this fight without dire consequences. Whis, can you stop them? Beerus asked, urgently. Not a chance, Lord Beerus, Whis replied, rolling his eyes. Both Murno and Goten are way beyond my power. Even if I tried, I couldn't interfere. Goten and Murno were unleashing their full strength. Goten's aura flared fiercely as he prepared a decisive punch aimed at Murno, who looked completely unfazed. Their combined power was immense, threatening to obliterate the 7th universe and beyond. As their fists closed in, everyone braced for impact. Suddenly, a figure appeared between them, hands outstretched. Flop. He blocked their punches effortlessly. You two need to chill. That attack could have destroyed the 7th universe. The calm voice belonged to the Grand Priest, who had just arrived. Lord Grand Priest, we're saved, Beerus exclaimed, relief flooding through him. Goku and Vegeta relaxed, but Whis remained serious. The Grand Priest's arrival meant trouble for Goten and Murno. Goten, Murno, Whis murmured. The fallout from their battle had been severe. The Grand Priest would surely punish them. Belmode and Rumshi were ecstatic. They thought they were doomed, but now they might escape with just a punishment. Grand Priest, Goten's expression turned serious. Old man, didn't expect you to show up so soon, Murno said playfully, skipping the usual respect.
Murno, Goten, do you realize what you were doing? The Grand Priest said coldly. If I hadn't arrived, you would have destroyed the 7th universe and harmed countless lives. Have you thought about that?
The Grand Priest was taken aback by Goten's growth since the Tournament of Power. He could fight Murno, his most promising son. Wow, the Grand Priest is actually sympathizing with mortals. Murno mocked. What's next? You'll wipe the boy's butt for him? Murno's mocking tone was relentless. He had always clashed with the Grand Priest over these issues. Damn it. You can wipe out universes with a word, but now you're acting all high and mighty? Ridiculous. Murno's anger was palpable, showing a side of him that was anything but angelic. The Grand Priest frowned. Murno hadn't changed his foolish thinking at all. Angels were meant to uphold their duties, and even he couldn't interfere with Zeno's decisions. Murno, Zeno is the supreme god. His actions aim to balance the universe, the Grand Priest explained calmly. Murno's anger only grew. Goten frowned too. The truth was hard to swallow, especially since he felt like an ant in the Grand Priest's eyes. Haha, what a joke. You make excuses for Zeno's actions. Your rules say it's good for you, but evil for us? Murno laughed bitterly. Whis and Beerus exchanged worried glances. Murno's words hit hard, especially since he was the Grand Priest's favorite son. The Grand Priest didn't want to argue. Murno had always been eloquent, and letting him continue could lead to disaster. Murno, Goten, your fight caused a god of destruction to fall and nearly destroyed a universe. You must come with me for Zeno's punishment, the Grand Priest said sternly. Goten, a mortal who killed a god, was especially in trouble. Everyone's faces turned grim. Grand Priest, it wasn't my fault. They attacked me first while I was just traveling. Goten protested, feeling wronged. They had threatened Videl. Goten's right. This is on me. If anyone should be punished, it's me. Beerus stepped forward, suppressing his fear. Goten was the real victim here. Goten considered Murno his best friend and couldn't let him face danger alone. After Murno had saved him twice, Goten knew he had to step up this time. God of destruction of the seventh universe, you should be grateful I arrived in time to prevent the destruction caused by the two of them. If the seventh universe had been destroyed, you would have been responsible, the Grand Priest said, casting a sharp glance at Beerus. He was clearly not in his usual cheerful mood, and Beerus felt a deep, paralyzing fear that had haunted him for millions of years. Lord Grand Priest, Goten is my son. If anyone deserves punishment, it's me. I'll take his place, Goku said seriously, stepping forward. As a father, he felt he had to protect Goten. Goku, your performance at the Tournament of Power was impressive, but you can't bargain with a god, the Grand Priest replied coldly. The fight between Goten and Murno had already led to a god of destruction's fall, and punishment was unavoidable. The final decision would come from Zeno once he woke up. You, god of destruction from the 10th and 11th universes, violated God's rules by provoking battles here. You will face punishment too, the Grand Priest declared. With a wave of his hand, everyone but Goten, Murno, and himself vanished from the 7th universe. Goten suddenly found himself in a vast white space, similar to the hyperbolic time chamber, but with gravity much heavier. What is this place? How do you plan to punish us? Goten asked, frowning. He knew he couldn't fight against the Grand Priest. This is the Void Realm where powerful gods who commit serious crimes are detained, Murno said with a smile, looking completely at ease. Exactly. Time flows faster here than outside, and you'll remain until Zeno decides your fate, the Grand Priest explained. This realm was feared by all gods due to its isolation and the intense boredom it brought. Goten felt trapped, realizing he couldn't break free from the energy chains that suddenly appeared under their feet. What the hell, he exclaimed, transforming into Super Saiyan 4 to try to escape, but the chains were unbreakable. Don't waste your strength, Goten. Even the Grand Priest would struggle to break free. Just accept this as a training opportunity. Murno said calmly, Shut up. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be stuck here. Goten yelled, frustrated. Days turned into months, and Goten's initial determination to escape faded. He realized that no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't break the chains. The loneliness was unbearable, and he found himself growing more irritable. Then Murno suddenly said, I think it's time for me to leave. Leave? Goten's eyes widened. You can get out of here? I have other matters to attend to, but this is a great opportunity for you to reflect on your strength and abilities. You might even experience a breakthrough, Murno explained. Then he released a massive burst of energy, causing the chains to disappear. What? He actually blew himself up to escape? Goten was furious. Now he was alone in the Void Realm, feeling even more trapped. Grand Priest, let me out. This is unforgivable, he shouted, but there was no response. Time passed, and after a year, Goten finally calmed down. He realized that struggling wouldn't help. Remembering Murno's words, he decided to use this time for training. He began to meditate, recalling all the abilities he had mastered, including Ultra Instinct and his legendary Bloodline. Meanwhile, outside, only 15 minutes had passed. Beerus and Goku had returned to the God of Destruction realm, desperate to rescue Goten. Whis, do you know where Goten was taken? Beerus asked anxiously. Lord Beerus, I can't say. Even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you. This is the Grand Priest's decision, and I must follow it, Whis replied calmly. Damn it! Goten is your apprentice. How can you do this to him? Beerus shouted, fists clenched. I'm sorry, Lord Beerus. I like Goten, but I am an angel first. I must adhere to angelic rules, Whis said flatly. As an angel, Whis wouldn't betray the Grand Priest, even if he liked Goten. Beerus was furious. If Whis wouldn't help, they had no idea where Goten was, let alone how to rescue him. Whis, Goten is my son. Please at least tell us where he is. Goku pleaded, feeling guilty for Goten's situation. Goten had fought Murno and killed the god of destruction of the fourth universe to protect everyone. I can't help you. Confronting Lord Zeno and the Grand Priest is dangerous. I won't watch you all die for nothing, Whis replied firmly. Challenging their authority was a death wish. To Zeno, mortals like Goku and Beerus were insignificant, easily erased with a wave of his hand. I thought you had some morals, but it seems Murno was right about you, Beerus scoffed, disappointed in Whis' cold demeanor. Suddenly, Shin appeared with the old Kai and Kibido through instant movement. Lord Beerus, Mr. Goku, Mr. Vegeta, have you found a way to help Goten? He asked anxiously. Just look at their faces, Shin. It's obvious, the old Kai grumbled. He had warned Shin not to get involved since this was a matter for the Grand Priest and Zeno to resolve. We don't know where Goten is. Whis is the only one who might know, but he won't tell us. Goku said seriously. Beerus ignored the Supreme Kais, believing they couldn't help. What should we do? Shin felt defeated, knowing they couldn't find Goten. That's what we're trying to figure out. If you're here to help, then help us, Beerus snapped, frustrated by Whis' stubbornness. A day passed with no progress. Goten shouldn't be punished with death. Zeno likes him, he won't kill him, Whis suggested, trying to calm the group. His concern was for their safety. Rushing in would likely end in disaster. Damn it, just stop talking. Beerus cursed, clearly unhappy with Whis. I have an idea, Vegeta suddenly said. We could use the Super Dragon Balls to find Goten, or even bring him back. Yes! Why didn't I think of that? Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan, let's split up and find the Super Dragon Balls. Beerus ordered. He then turned to Shin. You too. Your instant transmission could help. Everyone nodded. Hope rekindled. Whis wanted to stop them, but ultimately stayed silent. He hoped they wouldn't face severe consequences for defying Zeno and the Grand Priest. 2 days passed, and they searched every corner of the two universes, but found nothing. Returning to the God of Destruction realm, Goku sighed. Even with the Super Dragon Ball radar, we found nothing. They must not exist anymore. As despair settled in, a portal opened in the sky, and Murno emerged. Whis and Beerus recognized him immediately. Murno, what's going on? Weren't you taken by your father? Whis wondered, confused. Murno had instigated the battle with Goten that led to the God of Destruction's death, yet here he was. Damn it! You again! Beerus shouted, charging at Murno. Goku and Vegeta transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and attacked as well. Murno didn't move. His aura easily blocked their attacks. Calm down. I'm here to help you rescue Goten, he said, but no one believed him. Shut up. If it weren't for you, Goten wouldn't have been taken. You think we're fools? Beerus yelled. I'll prove it. Goten is imprisoned in the Void Realm. He has been there for 75 years. I need a God of Destruction and a Supreme Kai to help me rescue him, Murno explained seriously. The Void Realm? What's that? Goku and Vegeta asked, confused. Beerus and Whis' expressions changed. I forgot about that place. It's where gods who commit serious crimes are imprisoned. Beerus realized. He hadn't considered Goten's fate since he viewed him as an ordinary mortal. Brother, please stop. You can't go against Father and the others. Whis warned Murno. You've disappointed me, Whis. You didn't even tell Lord Beerus the news. Murno retorted. He felt Whis had become too much like the Grand Priest. I won't let you go. I'm trying to protect you. Whis insisted. Stop being hypocritical. You're just justifying the Grand Priest's decisions, Murno shot back, creating a portal and absorbing Whis into it. Whis, stay there until this is over, Murno said, then turned to Beerus. I'll heal your injuries, and then we'll go rescue Goten. Only the three of us can go. Damn, I guess I have to trust you, Beerus grumbled, realizing they had no other choice. After healing Beerus, Murno summoned a portal, and the three vanished from the God of Destruction realm. Goten had been trapped in the Void Realm for 75 long years, counting each day. 75 years. Exactly 75 years, he muttered. Zeno, Grand Priest, I will make you pay for this pain. Bound by iron chains, Goten felt consumed by anger and loneliness. Suddenly, he roared, unleashing an aura of purple-pink electric arcs. His hair turned a striking red with purple hues. resembling a unique version of Super Saiyan 4. Over the years, he had transformed, mastering a new form called Limit Break Super Saiyan 4, a blend of Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan 4. Despite his immense power, he remained chained and trapped. Despair washed over him as he realized that even his newfound strength couldn't break the chains. "Zeno, Grand Priest, and that damn Murno, I will never let you go," he shouted, his voice filled with rage. Just then, Goten heard a faint sound. He looked up to see a portal open, and out came Murno, Beerus, and Shin. "Goten, we finally found you," Beerus exclaimed, his heart sinking at the sight of Goten's condition. The once vibrant fighter now looked haggard and broken. "Goten, how did this happen?" Shin asked, worry etched on his face. "It's only been a few days, but you look like you've been here for centuries." "Goten, 75 years. Have you finally come to rescue me?" Goten's eyes filled with tears at the sight of his friends. "Don't worry, we'll get you out of here, even if it costs my life," Beerus vowed, feeling deep pain for Goten. But when Goten saw Murno, his rage boiled over. "Bastard! Unforgivable!" he snarled, wanting revenge. Beerus glared at Murno. "How can we get Goten out of here?" "You better not be lying," he warned. "I'm serious. To free Goten, you both must sacrifice your essence," Murno said, his tone grave. "The chains bind him with pure law power. Only your combined sacrifice can break them." Beerus and Shin exchanged worried glances but had anticipated this. "Stop wasting time. What do we need to do?" Beerus demanded. "Essence sacrifice," Murno explained. "You need to give up your powers to free him." "What?" Goten gasped, panic rising. "Don't do this. Your strength is too weak. You can't save me." "Goten, you saved me twice. Now it's my turn to help you," Beerus replied. "If you consider us friends, don't feel guilty." Shin added, "You've always supported me. Now I want to help you." He summoned a box containing 5 space-time rings. "These will help you escape after we're gone." "Goten, I can't believe you'd sacrifice yourselves for me," he said, overwhelmed with emotion. "Let's do this quickly. The Grand Priest could find out," Murno urged. Without hesitation, he unleashed his angel power, turning Beerus and Shin into light beams that merged with the chains. Instantly, the chains vanished. Goten roared, releasing years of pent-up anger. After a moment, he calmed, though his eyes still burned with fury. "Let's get out of here before that old man arrives," Murno said, summoning a portal. They vanished into the void. Reappearing in the vast universe, Goten noticed the flower pattern on Murno's hand and realized the truth. The Murno he faced in the Void Realm was just a clone. "Congratulations, Goten. Your time in the Void has made you stronger. You may not rival the Grand Priest yet, but you can hold your own," Murno said, pleased. Goten glared at him, his voice low and intense. "Do you know what I want most right now?" "You want to kill me?" Murno replied calmly. "Exactly. Your actions led to Beerus and Shin's deaths and my imprisonment. You deserve to die." With that, Goten transformed into his limit break form and vanished like a mirage. Murno's expression shifted as he realized Goten's intent too late. Goten's fist pierced through Murno's chest. "Threats come with a price," Goten said coldly, his expression unchanging. Even as Goten's fist pierced Murno's chest, Murno maintained his kind smile. "You've grown strong, Goten. I'm genuinely happy for you and all the mortals. My purpose is fulfilled. Even if I die now, I have no regrets," Murno said, grabbing Goten's wrist. Suddenly, a flood of knowledge filled Goten's mind, and Murno's form began to dissipate. "If you meet Hearts, don't kill him. He's my proud disciple, just like you. Goodbye, Goten." As Murno vanished, an angel staff appeared in Goten's hand. Confused and angry, Goten thought about how he had wanted to kill Murno for years, especially after Beerus and Shin sacrificed themselves to save him. But now, he understood Murno's true ideals. Freeing mortals from divine control. Determined, Goten stepped through a portal, reappearing in the 7th universe's God of Destruction realm. Goku and Vegeta rushed to him, while Whis sat solemnly, having lost his angel powers after Beerus' death. "Goten, you're back!" Goku exclaimed, relieved. "Dad," Goten greeted, feeling a bit calmer after killing Murno, but the Grand Priest and the other gods were still unforgivable. "Where are Lord Beerus and Lord Supreme Kai?" Goku asked urgently. They sacrificed themselves to save me, Goten replied, pain evident on his face. He vowed to revive them one day. The old Supreme Kai understood the gravity of the situation. Sacrifices were expected to save Goten. Kibito, however, struggled to accept it, having been by Shin's side for so long. You don't need to be pessimistic. I'll find a way to bring them back, Goten reassured them. But we need to leave the 7th universe before the Grand Priest retaliates. Everyone nodded, realizing the danger they were in. Just as Goten was about to leave, he glanced at Whis. Though Whis was the Grand Priest's son, he had also been Goten's mentor. Goten chose not to attack him. Returning to Earth, Goten explained everything. The group felt guilty for not helping him sooner. Don't worry. The Grand Priest is too strong, Goten reassured them. But we need to leave the 7th universe. We'll listen to you, Goku said seriously. Staying here could put you in more danger. Chi-Chi and Videl expressed their concern, especially Videl, who had just begun her relationship with Goten. I'm strong now. Even the Grand Priest might not be able to kill me, Goten said confidently. After a brief farewell, Goten used the time ring to send everyone to a random timeline for safety. Just as he did, a familiar purple portal opened above him, revealing the Grand Priest in a dark blue suit. Goten, you escaped the Void Realm after committing serious crimes, the Grand Priest said coldly. You not only made the God of Destruction and Supreme Kai disappear, but also killed Murno. Do you realize the consequences? Goten felt the weight of the Grand Priest's words. Normally his actions would lead to a long imprisonment, but now he had added more crimes to his list. Enough of your high-minded talk. You have no idea what it was like for me in there. Every second was torture. I don't know if I'm on the path of no return, but I will kill you, Goten declared, his eyes blazing with fury. Lord Zeno wanted you to be the Grand God of Destruction, but that chance is gone now. The Grand Priest's killing intent matched Goten's. He sensed that Goten was far stronger than before, posing a significant threat. With that, the Grand Priest unleashed a powerful palm strike, releasing immense angel power. Goten transformed into Limit Break Super Saiyan 4, roaring as he shattered the oppressive force surrounding him. The Grand Priest frowned as Goten's aura neutralized his attack. Just days ago, that strike would have easily killed Goten, but he hadn't anticipated Goten's growth in the Void Realm. He sensed Murno's angel power within Goten's ki, and thought, Murno, are you really trying to challenge me and Lord Zeno? It won't work. No one can defy God's rules, neither Goten nor the 13th universe before him. Determined to eliminate Goten, the Grand Priest knew that once he dealt with him, no one could challenge Zeno's authority. However, Goten suddenly landed a punch, summoning dozens of portals around the Grand Priest and unleashing a flurry of fists. But the Grand Priest's protective barrier absorbed the blows effortlessly. Ha! Goten unleashed a purple-red divine flame, creating a beam that shook the 7th universe. He followed up with a storm of attacks using instant movement and portals, but the Grand Priest remained unharmed behind his impenetrable barrier. Is this the Grand Priest's true strength? Goten thought, realizing the vast gap between them. Despite 75 years of training, he needed a stronger force, perhaps the power of the laws, to stand a chance. It's useless, Goten. You may be strong, but you're still just a mortal, the Grand Priest said dismissively. Goten, frustrated, decided to abandon flashy moves and charged at the Grand Priest, launching a relentless barrage of punches. Yet the Grand Priest dodged every single one. Is the gap really this wide? Goten's resolve faltered. If this continued, he might be killed. Reluctantly, he realized he might need to escape to survive. With a swift punch, the Grand Priest caught Goten's fist, trapping him like a vice. It's over, Goten. Die, he declared, unleashing a powerful purple flame that engulfed Goten. Just before being consumed, Goten activated the time ring, vanishing in an instant. He reappeared in the God of Destruction realm of the 11th universe, where Margarita trained with Toppo while Belmod enjoyed a feast. Belmod, feeling secure after Goten's imprisonment, was taken aback when Goten suddenly appeared, radiating an aura reminiscent of Murno. Goten? Toppo exclaimed, overwhelmed by Goten's oppressive energy and collapsing to the ground. Belmod, terrified, stammered, no, impossible. Son Goten, you have Murno's staff. What happened? Margarita asked, recognizing the staff and sensing Murno's power in Goten. What a stupid question. Isn't it obvious? Goten replied with a smirk, appearing before Belmod like a ghost. We meet again, Belmod. Why so scared? Aren't you a god of destruction? Goten lifted Belmod by the neck, who felt the crushing aura and despaired. Margarita knew she couldn't save him. Goten, let go of Lord Belmod. If you kill him, Zeno and the Grand Priest will come for you, she pleaded. Sorry, your father is strong, but he'll have to catch me first, Goten retorted. A purple-black portal opened above them. The Grand Priest was closing in fast. Seeing him, Margarita sighed in relief, while Belmod's hope flickered. Goten, do you want to be an enemy of the gods? The Grand Priest asked, narrowing his eyes. If you kill the god of destruction now, there will be no escape for you. Goten stood firm, confident in his mastery of time and space. What a joke! You think I'll pin my hopes on that little bastard? I've been trapped for over 70 years. Do you expect me to believe your nonsense? A surge of destructive power erupted in Goten's palm, and Belmod vanished without a trace. The Grand Priest's expression darkened. No one had dared to kill a god in front of him for millions of years. This was an unprecedented challenge to his authority. Bye now, Goten said, eliminating Belmod effortlessly. He vanished again, targeting the 10th universe next. Arriving in the 10th universe's God of Destruction realm, Rumshi realized he was doomed. Goten was far too powerful now. Goten, what do you want? You've already killed a god of destruction. Kusu, the oldest angel, stood protectively in front of Rumshi. Not enough. I want to kill all the gods of destruction. Goten roared, then suddenly laughed. But I've changed my mind. Killing them doesn't bother the Grand Priest. But he cares about Murno. Seems he has a soft spot for his kids. In an instant, Goten transformed into a perfect fusion of Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego, appearing before Kusu and Rumshi. Just as he grabbed their necks, the Grand Priest caught up with him. Click, crack. The sound of bones breaking echoed as the scene unfolded. Kusu and Rumshi's necks snapped under Goten's grip, and their bodies crumbled to dust before the furious Grand Priest. He seethed, enraged by the loss of his daughter and eldest son, Murno, at Goten's hands. Don't be angry, priest. Your son Murno and you are to blame for Kusu's death. If you'd been fair, she wouldn't have ended up like this. But don't worry, one day you'll share their fate, Goten taunted, a sinister smile on his face. With that, he activated his time and space abilities, vanishing before the Grand Priest could react. Goten swiftly traveled to a new timeline, appearing in a vast universe. Nearby, he sensed two powerful auras clashing, one of which felt familiar. Using instant transmission, he materialized on Earth, above a deserted island where Goku and Frieza were locked in a fierce battle. The Z fighters, including Vegeta and Piccolo, watched anxiously. Is this the Dragon Ball Super timeline? Goten mused, recognizing the scene. Whis was the first to spot him, and he alerted Beerus, who was surprised by Goten's sudden appearance and powerful aura.
Who is that?
I didn't see him come in, Beerus exclaimed, sensing a dangerous energy from Goten. I don't know, but his ki feels familiar, Whis replied, noting its resemblance to Murno's. Familiar ki? And angels? Beerus asked, intrigued but skeptical. Goten bore a striking resemblance to Goku, with only minor differences in his hairstyle. Vegeta noticed the commotion and turned to see Goten. Is that Kakarot? He wondered, then quickly corrected himself, realizing Goten looked like Goku, but wasn't him. As Goku and Frieza continued their battle, Beerus decided to approach Goten. Hey, who are you? Whis mentioned you have an angel's aura, he demanded. Beerus, it's great to see you again. Goten replied, excited to see a familiar face, even if this Beerus was from a different timeline. What? You know me? Who are you? Beerus asked, confused. I'm Goten from a parallel timeline, he said, revealing his identity without hesitation. Traveling through time is a felony, Whis warned, though he remained curious about Goten's angel-like aura. Piccolo, stunned, muttered to himself, no way. What's wrong, Piccolo? Vegeta asked. That kid just said he's gotten from a parallel timeline. He looks just like Goku, but feels different. Piccolo explained. Goku and Frieza finally noticed Goten. Who is that kid? He looks familiar, Goku said. Another fighter like Goku? This is bad. Frieza frowned, realizing he might be in trouble. Beerus pressed Goten. You say you're Goku's son from another timeline. Why do you have an angel's aura? I'm indeed Goku's son, and the angel power comes from Murno. He compensated me, Goten replied casually. What? Murno? Whis exclaimed, surprised. He recalled Murno's disappearance millions of years ago. Does your 13th universe still exist? Whis asked, hopeful. No, it was destroyed long ago, but Murno reappeared around this time. I can't share more now, Goten said, wary of revealing too much. Great, that means Murno is still alive, Whis said excitedly. Hey, you seem powerful. How about a fight? Beerus challenged, eager for a worthy opponent. Sorry, Beerus, but you can't match me. The gap between us is beyond your imagination, Goten replied confidently. Goten spoke seriously, revealing he had surpassed the power of a god of destruction long ago. In the Void Realm, he perfectly fused Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan 4, along with perfect Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. With his current strength, he could easily defeat Beerus, even without transforming. What? Beerus was stunned. Did this guy really just claim he wasn't his opponent? Such arrogance from a mortal who didn't understand a god of destruction's power. Do you even know who you're talking to? Beerus replied, trying to remain calm. Mortals often overestimate themselves before facing true divine power, just like Goku had on King Kai's planet. Whatever you say, Goten shrugged, not wanting to embarrass Beerus. Lord Beerus, Goten's strength is unlike Goku and Vegeta's. I sense immense pressure from him, similar to Lord Zeno and the Grand Priest. Whis interjected, recognizing Goten's angel power from Murno. This wasn't just talk. Goten was genuinely powerful. On the ground, Piccolo was shocked. What did they say? Vegeta asked, noticing Piccolo's expression. Goku and Krillin looked over, sensing Beerus' annoyance. Goten said Beerus can't possibly be his opponent, Piccolo relayed, causing Goku and Vegeta to exchange surprised glances. They knew Beerus' power well. Even a fraction of it could wipe them out instantly. Looks like Goten is too full of himself, Vegeta scoffed, recalling Goku's similar overconfidence against Beerus. It seems Goten from another timeline is unaware of Beerus' true strength, Goku thought, believing Goten wouldn't make such claims if he had seen Beerus fight. Wow, ha ha ha. I love it. He even said Beerus isn't his opponent. Little Goten cheered, thrilled by the idea. Goten, you're an idiot. If you fight Beerus, you might get killed, Trunks warned, shaking his head at the younger Goten's excitement. Goku, if that's really Goten up there, stop him before Beerus kills him, Chi-Chi urged, worried for her son. I know, Chi-Chi, Goku replied, jumping in front of Beerus and Goten. Lord Beerus, Goten hasn't seen your strength. Please don't be offended. Shut up, Goku. Just because you trained in the God of Destruction realm doesn't mean you can order me around. This kid is arrogant enough to deserve punishment for traveling through timelines, Beerus declared, but I'll give him a chance to fight me. If he can give me a good match, I'll overlook it. Lord Beerus, this isn't wise, Whis cautioned, sensing the tension. This is my decision, Beerus insisted. Okay, if you want to fight, I'll oblige. I owe you a lot for my timeline. Goten agreed, hoping to show Goku how strong a Saiyan could be. Your arrogance surpasses even Goku's. Beerus snapped, annoyed by Goten's nonchalance. Hey, Lord Beerus, he probably doesn't know your power. Be merciful if you fight, Goku pleaded, curious about Goten's strength. With that, Goku jumped back to the ground. If Beerus wanted to fight, they couldn't stop him without risking destruction. Since you're Goku's son, I expect you to transform into a Super Saiyan. Hurry up, or I might kill you, Beerus warned coldly. No need for that. Let's just start the spar, Goten replied casually. He didn't need to transform. His base power was already formidable. Your pride is excessive, Beerus growled, his patience wearing thin. In an instant, Beerus appeared behind Goten, striking at his shoulder with a hand knife. But Goten easily deflected the attack without looking back. Beerus, you should use all your strength. Do you really underestimate me this much? What's going on, Pikarat? How did Goten take Lord Beerus' attack so easily? He didn't even transform or look back. Vegeta asked, astonished. I don't know, Vegeta, we all saw how fast Lord Beerus was. Even as Super Saiyan Blue, we might not have reacted in time. But Goten blocked Beerus' attack without transforming. It's incredible. Goku replied, equally surprised. If he and Vegeta couldn't avoid that sneak attack, Goten's reaction was truly remarkable. Do you think Beerus held back his power? Piccolo suggested, trying to make sense of it. If even Goku and Vegeta couldn't handle it, that would be shocking. No way, Piccolo. Beerus was incredibly fast. I barely saw him move. Even I couldn't react to that attack. Goku stated seriously, my god, if that's the case, the added strength is amazing. Gohan chimed in, looking shocked. He felt weak compared to the Goten in the sky. His own strength had faded since his battles with Cell and Majin Buu. Piccolo frowned at Gohan's current state. This is the difference between training and not training. With your talent, you could be as strong as Goten if you practiced. Today should be a wake-up call, he lectured. Gohan's lack of training left him vulnerable, almost killed by Frieza. I get it, Piccolo. I'll train harder, Gohan nodded, feeling embarrassed. If Goku and Vegeta hadn't arrived, Earth might have been destroyed. Meanwhile, Frieza was frustrated. He was battling Goku when Goten's appearance disrupted everything. Could that brat be Goku's son? He thought, confused. Lord Beerus, let me handle this boy. You don't need to waste your time, Frieza said, trying to flatter Beerus while wanting to eliminate Issei. Get lost, Frieza. This kid is my prey now. I'll let you fight him once I'm done, Beerus snapped, eager to teach Goten a lesson for his arrogance. Goten's ability to dodge his attack excited him. Frieza's expression darkened, but he didn't dare argue. Yes, Lord Beerus, he replied, his eyes filled with malice. He clenched his fists, plotting revenge against both Beerus and the Saiyans. Meanwhile, Beerus turned serious. You're stronger than I expected, but you'll pay for your arrogance, he warned Goten. Even if Goten could transform, he doubted he could match a god of destruction. Yeah? If you have the strength, show me. But I'm stronger than you think, Goten replied with a smirk. Underestimating Beerus. You're too arrogant, Beerus growled, furious. It was time for Goten to experience a god of destruction's power. In an instant, Beerus vanished, reappearing in front of Goten with a powerful punch. Heh. Goten dodged effortlessly. What? Beerus was shocked. He had increased his speed and still couldn't hit Goten. Annoyed, Beerus threw another punch. Shh. He unleashed a flurry of attacks, creating countless afterimages, but Goten avoided them all. Goku and Vegeta watched in disbelief. They couldn't follow Beerus' movements, yet Goten dodged every attack without even transforming. What did Goten go through to get this strong? Gohan wondered, amazed. The Goten in this timeline couldn't compare. He'd need decades of training to reach this level. Goten is like Trunks in his timeline, probably the only fighter left, pushing him to become powerful, Vegeta said, frustrated. The Goten and Trunks of this timeline were pampered, leading to their weak training habits. Gohan's potential was wasted, and Vegeta couldn't accept being outdone by Goku and his sons. Maybe you're right, Vegeta. Pressure makes you train harder, Goku agreed. It's so powerful. Piccolo and Krillin were stunned. They knew Gohan was talented, but Goten's power was beyond their imagination. Frieza, on the other hand, was unsettled. Why is that brat so strong? Stronger than Goku? This can't be happening, he thought, realizing he might be in trouble. He couldn't defeat Goku, and now there was Goten to contend with. He needed to retreat and gain strength before confronting them again. In the sky, Beerus grew frustrated. Show your strength. If you keep dodging, we'll never know who wins, he urged. Goten continued to evade, which irritated Beerus. Hey, if you want to see my strength, I'll show you. But don't be surprised. Goten grinned, eager to see their reactions. Stop talking nonsense. What else do you have besides speed? Beerus demanded. Don't believe me? Watch. Goten smiled, and suddenly Divine Ki erupted around him. His pupils turned silver gray, his hair became silver white, and his aura transformed into that of a god. Shock crossed Beerus and Whis' faces. That divine energy? Impossible. Whis, is he really? Beerus asked, stunned. Yes, Lord Beerus, this is truly perfect Ultra Instinct. Whis confirmed, equally astonished. A mortal had mastered Ultra Instinct to this level, and it was shocking. Goku and the others below were in shock. Kokora, what's happening with that Goten kid? Why is there a silver light around him? Is this a new Super Saiyan transformation? Vegeta asked, wide-eyed. They had seen many Saiyan forms, but this silver flame was something new. I don't know, Vegeta, but Goten's transformation feels powerful, stronger than our Super Saiyan god, Goku replied, amazed. The divine aura radiating from Goten was unlike anything they had felt before. That's Ultra Instinct, Piccolo suddenly chimed in. He had overheard Whis and Beerus discussing Goten's transformation. With his superior hearing, he caught what others couldn't. Ultra Instinct? What's that? Goku and Vegeta were puzzled. They had never heard Whis mention it. It seemed to be beyond a typical Saiyan transformation. Goten is incredible. Goku exclaimed. He thought he and Vegeta were strong, but Goten was on another level. Damn it. Vegeta gritted his teeth, frustrated that Goku and his sons had surpassed him. Even Gohan, if he trained, could outdo him, and Goten was now a threat to Beerus. Did you know Whis in your timeline, brat? Mastering Ultra Instinct isn't easy. Did he teach you? Beerus asked, intrigued. It was impossible for a mortal to master Ultra Instinct without an angel's guidance. Well, Whis can be considered my teacher. Goten nodded. He had mastered it himself, but Whis' guidance helped. Interesting. I have many questions, but first, I need to defeat you, Beerus said, his surprise fading. Goten's calmness and talent intrigued him, but he was confident he could still win. I told you, you can't beat me. I could finish this fight in 2:01 seconds, Goten said confidently, though he had no intention of killing Beerus. Arrogant brat! If Ultra Instinct is your trump card, you'll soon regret it. Beerus charged at Goten, unleashing a flurry of punches. Beerus, your attacks can't hurt me. Use your full strength, Goten said, bored. The gap in their power made the fight dull. Feeling insulted, Beerus raised his ki, transforming into a blazing purple aura. He attacked Goten from all angles, but to Goku and Vegeta, it looked like a storm of purple beams. Goten stood still, effortlessly dodging every attack.
Minutes passed, and Beerus' stamina waned. He realized he couldn't land a hit and needed a new strategy. Hey brat, this isn't a real battle if you keep dodging. If you're confident, drop Ultra Instinct and fight me. Beerus taunted.
Fine, I'm bored anyway. Let's end this quickly. Goten smiled, deciding to finish the fight. Arrogant? If you don't use Ultra Instinct, you'll lose, Beerus sneered. Goten didn't argue. He exited Ultra Instinct mode and clenched his fists. Ha! Goten roared, unleashing a powerful purple flame that shook the planet. The sky was engulfed in purple fire, and Goku and the others shielded themselves from the energy wave. Beerus was stunned. No, impossible. How can a mortal emit the divine ki of a god of destruction? He stammered, stepping back in disbelief. Gaten's ki felt like an unfathomable abyss, radiating fear. Could he be a candidate for god of destruction in another timeline? Whis wondered, astonished. Even as a candidate, his power is overwhelming. You can't defeat Goten. Whis warned Beerus, who struggled to accept this reality. Damn it, I'm the god of destruction. I won't be intimidated by this brat. Beerus growled, finding it hard to accept that a mortal could surpass him. Goten's appearance shifted again. His hair turned purple, and his energy radiated destructive power. Are you kidding me? That's similar to Beerus's divine ki. Vegeta was dumbfounded. Goten, are you a god of destruction from another timeline? Goku whispered, trying to comprehend the situation. I don't know how strong Goten is now, but Whis and Beerus said he's stronger than Whis. Beerus has no chance, Piccolo explained, shocking Goku and Vegeta. Shocked? It's not over yet. Enjoy this, Beerus, Goten said, smiling as his purple ki began transforming into silver. Is it, Ultra Instinct? A fusion of God of Destruction and Ultra Instinct? How is this possible? Whis gasped, realizing the significance of Goten's transformation. Goten had fused perfect Ultra Instinct and perfect Ultra Ego flawlessly. Perfect Ultra Instinct and perfect Ultra Ego combined. I call it perfection. Beerus, let's fight. I won't dodge anymore, Goten declared. Everyone was stunned. Even those who couldn't sense Goten's ki felt the overwhelming pressure, stronger than Beerus's. Impossible! Even if he's a candidate for a god of destruction from another timeline, he can't be this powerful. He merged the god of destruction state with perfect Ultra Instinct. Beerus shook his head in disbelief. No angel or god of destruction had ever achieved this fusion. Yet here was a mere mortal, a Saiyan, accomplishing the unimaginable. After the shock wore off, Beerus adjusted his mindset. You're impressive. You've done what no god could. Your talent is ridiculous, stronger than your father, and Vegeta. Now let's see how powerful you really are. With that, purple flames surged around him as he prepared to attack, though doubt lingered in his mind about Goten's divine power. Beerus rushed at Goten, his fist engulfed in flames, but when he punched Goten's chest, it was like hitting a wall. Goten didn't budge. No. Impossible. I hit with all my strength, and he didn't even move, Beerus muttered in shock, continuing his assault to no avail. Okay, Beerus. It's clear you can't harm me, Goten finally said, growing impatient after dodging thousands of punches. He grabbed Beerus's fist and delivered a light punch to his stomach. Boom! Beerus coughed up blood, bending over in pain as his aura faded. He had lost the ability to fight even after just a light hit from Goten. Goten then flashed back to the ground, leaving everyone in disbelief. Beerus, the strongest in their universe, had been defeated so easily. Are you really Goten? Goku asked, astonished. He never imagined Goten could be this strong. Of course I'm the real Goten, he replied with a nod. Their reactions were expected. Defeating Beerus was a huge deal. How did you train to become so powerful? Those transformations weren't even Saiyan. Vegeta leaned in, astonished. Goten hadn't used any Super Saiyan forms, suggesting he had even greater strength. I have stronger abilities. As for my training, it's a long story, Goten replied, and everyone marveled at his incredible power. Meanwhile, Whis helped Beerus recover. Beerus appeared before Goten, looking serious. Losing to a mortal was humiliating, but he acknowledged Goten's strength. What? Do you want to fight again? Goten joked, noticing Beerus's expression. Heh! I admit I can't beat you, but I have questions, Beerus said, accepting his defeat reluctantly. Ask away, Goten nodded, having a good relationship with Beerus in another timeline. In your future timeline, are you a candidate for our 7th universe god of destruction? Beerus asked, curious. No, although Whis had ideas about it, I wasn't interested in being a god of destruction, Goten replied, shaking his head. What happened to me in that timeline? Beerus pressed. Sorry, you sacrificed yourself to save me, Goten said, feeling guilty. If he could, he would bring Beerus back to life. But returning to that timeline was too dangerous. What? I died to save you? Impossible. As a god of destruction, I'd never sacrifice myself for a mortal. Beerus's face changed dramatically, unable to believe it. I'm not kidding. We had a good relationship in my timeline. Believe it or not, it's true, Goten replied seriously. Goku and Vegeta were stunned. They couldn't believe Beerus would sacrifice himself to save Goten. In another timeline, Beerus's expression darkened. Despite his disbelief, Goten's serious demeanor suggested he was telling the truth. Suddenly, Whis appeared before Goten. Mr. Goten, I sensed a familiar angel power from you. Is Murno in your timeline? Whis asked, curious. He had a close relationship with Murno, and the power felt similar. Yes, I possess Murno's angel power, Goten replied. He willingly passed it to me, but I can't share more details. Goten was wary of revealing too much, especially after what happened in his previous timeline. Understood, Whis said, respecting Goten's boundaries. 10 minutes later, Beerus and Whis left Earth, and everyone gathered around Goten. Big brother, you're amazing. I hope to be as strong as you one day, the younger Goten exclaimed, clenching his fists. He was in awe of his future self's power. Train hard, and you'll get there, Goten encouraged, wanting to boost his younger self's confidence. Okay, little Goten nodded eagerly. Meanwhile, little Trunks felt a bit down. He didn't expect Goten to be so much stronger than him. He resolved to train harder. Goten, what happened in your timeline that made you so powerful? Goku and Vegeta asked, eager to learn the secrets behind Goten's strength. In that timeline, you all died in the Cell games. To prevent Cell from destroying Earth, you chose not to be resurrected. The only survivor was Krillin. A year later, I was born. Goten explained the tragic events of that timeline. Everyone was shocked, while Krillin couldn't believe he was the last warrior standing on Earth and had become powerful enough to surpass Goku and Vegeta. What? Are you kidding me? Vegeta exclaimed, I would never refuse resurrection out of fear of Cell. I agree, Goku added, scratching his head. If it were me, I definitely want to keep fighting. Goten, is it true that I surpassed both Goku and Vegeta in your timeline? Krillin asked, trembling with excitement. Yes, your strength surpassed theirs in Super Saiyan Blue, Goten confirmed, omitting details about Krillin becoming an android. Wow, that's awesome, Krillin, Goku said with a smile. Vegeta, however, was not pleased. Are you serious? Krillin surpassed us in Super Saiyan Blue. Afterward, everyone returned to Capsule Corp. Meanwhile, after Goten sent the others away through a portal, they arrived in another timeline. The familiar Earth landscape confused them. What's going on? This is Earth, but where's Goten? Krillin asked. No, I sense familiar key signatures. This isn't our Earth, Goku replied. Suddenly, figures flew towards them. Another Goku and Vegeta. The Goku looked like a younger version of himself, while Vegeta appeared older. Tekara, they look just like us. Not those Tuffle clones again, right? GT Vegeta folded his arms, eyeing the newcomers. I don't sense any evil ki from them, GT Goku said, serious. This is strange. They look like us, but why is Goku young and Vegeta old? Krillin wondered. It seems we've arrived on Earth in another timeline. Goku said, excited. That younger me has incredible strength, possibly equal to Super Saiyan Blue. Vegeta glared at GT Vegeta, anger flashing in his eyes. Damn, why did he cut his hair like that? What's with the outfit? Disgraceful. GT Vegeta shot back. What I wear is none of your business, imposter. Vegeta snapped. You call me an imposter? You can't even keep your hairstyle intact. Do you want to fight, imposter? GT Vegeta shouted, furious. As the two Vegetas argued, everyone watched in confusion. You can't even hold on to your hairstyle, won't win, Vegeta retorted. Both transformed into Super Saiyan 2, and Goku and the others were curious to see the outcome. Wow, are they really gonna fight? This is exciting. GT Trunks exclaimed. GT Vegeta lunged at Vegeta, believing he was linked to Tuffles. He delivered a heavy punch with incredible speed, sending Vegeta flying. Boom! Vegeta quickly raised his arms to block, but GT Vegeta's strength overwhelmed him, sending him crashing down. Okay, that's impressive. This father is incredibly strong, Trunks said, surprised by the gap in power. Yeah, but does this Vegeta have a higher transformation? Goku mused. Vegeta spat blood, then transformed into Super Saiyan Blue. He knew he could defeat GT Vegeta now. What? His hair turned blue. Is this another Saiyan transformation? We can't feel his ki. GT Goku and GT Trunks exclaimed in disbelief. The moment Vegeta transformed into Super Saiyan Blue, everyone from the GT timeline was in shock. Dad, what's going on with that Vegeta? GT Gohan asked, bewildered. Why did his hair turn blue, and why can't we feel his ki? Everyone was surprised by Vegeta's new form. They knew about Super Saiyan transformations, but blue hair was something new. The lack of ki was incredible. It seems those guys might be cloned androids from Dr. Miu, GT Goku said, frowning. He had encountered many foes, but only androids had ki he couldn't sense. But they felt Vegeta's ki when he was Super Saiyan 10. If they were androids, we wouldn't have sensed it, GT Gohan countered, shaking his head. What do you think, Gohan? GT Goku asked, knowing Gohan was the smartest among them. Could Vegeta be a god in this form? We can't feel the ki of the Supreme Kai either, GT Gohan suggested. Only androids and Supreme Kai had unperceivable ki. Let's observe and see how strong this form is, GT Goku agreed, eager to gauge Vegeta's power. Meanwhile, GT Vegeta was equally stunned. Why do you look like that, imposter? He couldn't sense Vegeta's ki and had never seen such a transformation. Whew! You don't even know the Super Saiyan God form? Your strength is clearly lacking, Vegeta said, enjoying GT Vegeta's confusion. Stop getting carried away. Just because your hair is a different color doesn't mean you can beat me, GT Vegeta shouted, launching a powerful punch at Vegeta, confident he would win. Whoosh! GT Vegeta zipped toward Vegeta, but Vegeta calmly caught his fist. What? GT Vegeta gasped in shock. He never expected Vegeta to catch his punch so easily. Is this all you've got? You think you can beat me with such weak strength? Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta taunted, reveling in the moment. Impossible. How could this be? GT Vegeta stammered, still in disbelief about the power gap. Before he could react, Vegeta punched him hard in the abdomen. Boom! The impact sent GT Vegeta flying into a mountain, reverting him from Super Saiyan. Vegeta, GT Goku frowned, surprised at Vegeta's overwhelming power. GT Vegeta had lost the ability to fight with just one blow. Dad, GT Trunks rushed to help GT Vegeta. I didn't expect Vegeta to be this strong. Let's see what you can do, GT Goku said, smiling. He hadn't faced a strong opponent since defeating Baby, and his excitement was growing. Goku appeared in front of Vegeta, eager for a challenge. Hey Kakara, do you want to fight too? But if your strength is like his, I'll defeat you in an instant. Vegeta boasted. Your strength is impressive, Vegeta, GT Goku admitted, but don't think it'll be easy to defeat me. Is that so? Then transform quickly. Let's see how strong you are as a Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta challenged. GT Goku hesitated. No, I won't fight as a Super Saiyan 3. It drains my energy too fast. and I doubt I could beat you. I'll use a higher level form instead. Vegeta raised an eyebrow. A higher level transformation? Stronger than Super Saiyan 3? Goku began to scream, golden aura flames enveloping him. In seconds, he transformed into Super Saiyan 4, his power skyrocketing. Vegeta was shocked. Super Saiyan 4? How did you achieve that? The confident look vanished from Vegeta's face. Goku's power surpassed even Trunks's. Trunks noticed Goku's tail and realized this Goku knew the secret to becoming Super Saiyan 4. So you know about Super Saiyan 4. Goku taunted, "Let's fight, Vegeta. I want to see how strong you really are." GT Goku's personality shifted with his transformation. He grinned at Vegeta. "Becoming a Super Saiyan 4 is impressive, but I won't lose to you, Kakarot." Vegeta, recovering from his surprise, felt excited at the prospect of battling such a powerful Goku. After Trunks became Super Saiyan 4 in their timeline, he gained immense power, one that even Super Saiyan Blue couldn't match. Under Goten's training, Trunks grew stronger than a god of destruction or an angel, a level unimaginable to Goku and the others. To GT Goku, even if he transformed into Super Saiyan 4, defeating Trunks seemed impossible. He believed Trunks could still take down Goku from this timeline. "Come on, Vegeta. I'm really curious about your blue form," GT Goku said, excitement evident in his voice. The thrill of fighting such a powerful opponent was undeniable, even if it was Vegeta. GT Vegeta's face darkened at Goku's enthusiasm. Damn it! Why is Kakarot so excited to face this imposter? GT Vegeta thought, feeling humiliated. But he couldn't deny the counterfeit's strength was beyond his own. "Vegeta, I'll go first," GT Goku announced. "Do whatever you want, but you better use all your strength, otherwise you'll end up like that guy just now." Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta replied arrogantly, clearly underestimating GT Goku. "Here I come," GT Goku grinned, vanishing and reappearing in front of Vegeta, delivering a powerful uppercut to his stomach. "What? So fast?" Vegeta exclaimed, taken aback. He barely had time to react as GT Goku's fist slammed into his arms, sending him flying. Oh no! Vegeta realized something was wrong. He quickly unleashed a powerful blue aura to stop himself, but GT Goku was already swooping down like a meteor. Vegeta raised his arms to block as GT Goku's fist crashed down. Boom. Rumble. The impact sent Vegeta crashing to the ground, creating a massive crater. He lay there, bloodied and scarred, shocked by the power of GT Goku's attacks. Damn it! How is Kakarot so strong already? His speed and strength are beyond mine, Vegeta thought, gritting his teeth. GT Goku's power clearly surpassed Trunks, even in Super Saiyan 4. Amazing. Is this my strength in this timeline? Vegeta and Super Saiyan Blue can't compete with me, Goku marveled, watching from above. Even though I'm strong, the gap between me and Goku is huge, Trunks said, astonished. He knew their basic combat powers were different, affecting their transformations. What is that guy doing? Chi-Chi and Bulma complained, unhappy with GT Goku's relentless attacks on Vegeta. GT Goku, seeing Vegeta struggling, charged in for another punch. Vegeta evaded just in time. If GT Goku hit him again, he might lose his Super Saiyan Blue form. Rumble. GT Goku's fist struck the ground, creating a massive crater. Vegeta, now in midair, frowned at the destruction below. GT Goku gathered energy for his signature move. 10x Kamehameha. Vegeta's face grew solemn as he realized he couldn't withstand the attack. He quickly formed his own energy blasts. Final flash. The two attacks collided like titans, sending shockwaves through the air. Goku and the others quickly formed a barrier to protect Chi-Chi and Bulma. Kakarot. Vegeta grunted, straining against GT Goku's Kamehameha, which was overpowering his final flash. He knew he couldn't hold on much longer. It seems Dad can't last. Trunks thought, panic rising, he couldn't let Vegeta get hit by that Kamehameha. With a powerful aura erupting from him, Trunks transformed into Super Saiyan 4, shocking everyone. What? Trunks can also become Super Saiyan 4. They gasped in disbelief. GT Vegeta was stunned. He had struggled to reach Super Saiyan 4, while this imposter and even his own son had achieved it effortlessly. Wow, Trunks can turn into Super Saiyan 4. This is incredible, GT Goku exclaimed. Trunks, what are you doing? This is my battle with Kakarot. Vegeta yelled, still stubborn despite his fatigue. Let's stop. We're not enemies. Trunks interrupted, wanting to end the fight. Okay, Vegeta. That was dangerous. If Trunks hadn't intervened, you would have lost, Goku said with a smile, even if it annoyed Vegeta. And you, other me, are amazing. I really want to fight you, but we should figure out what's going on first, Goku added. GT Goku nodded, realizing they weren't androids. After a brief chat, they decided to return to West City, curious about each other's lives. Meanwhile, in another timeline at the Time Nest, Xeno Goku and Vegeta approached Kronoa, the Supreme Kai of Time. Did you call us for something? You seem worried, they asked. Kronoa's expression was serious. Many individuals are recklessly traveling through timelines, causing chaos. I need you to find them, teach them a lesson, and send them back. To restore order to the chaotic timeline, they needed to address the issue of reckless time travelers. Lord Supreme Kai, those who can travel through timelines must be tough to handle, Xeno Goku remarked, knowing it was no easy task to deal with such individuals. Not necessarily. Didn't Bulma create a time machine before? Trunks wasn't very strong back then. Kronoa replied, feeling a bit dizzy. The Dark King Makekabura, sealed by the former Supreme Kai of Time long ago, was now stirring with the help of the demon gods. This made her anxious. Recently, many had been traveling through timelines, causing disruptions. She needed Xeno Goku and Vegeta to manage these reckless travelers. Their strength was impressive enough to handle it. Okay, let's go check it out, Xeno Goku nodded, though he was more mature as a member of the Time Patrol. The Saiyan in him thrived on battling strong opponents. He, Vegeta, Trunks, and Gohan left the Time Nest. A month had passed since Goten arrived in the DragonBall Super timeline. During this time, Beerus and Whis visited Earth several times to enjoy delicious food, leading to a brief period of peace. However, Goku and the others knew Frieza had escaped. With his vengeful nature, he would surely return. Meanwhile, Frieza was busy recruiting in the universe, aiming to eliminate Goku and Vegeta. Frieza's legion had grown, though mostly with weak cannon fodder. He knew these soldiers couldn't challenge Goku and the others, but appearances mattered. Currently, Frieza was lounging in his hoverpod, sipping wine. Lord Frieza, when will we attack Earth? Our legion has 5,000 soldiers with combat strengths over 1,000 and over 500 above 10,000. Berry Blue, his strategist, inquired. Ha ha ha! You underestimate Goku and Vegeta's power, Berry Blue. This army would just be cannon fodder. We need to prepare. Another mighty Saiyan has appeared on Earth. Frieza's smile faded as he thought of Goten, who could fight Beerus without losing. With such strength was beyond Goku and Vegeta. It would be foolish to attack Earth now. He needed to handle Goku and Vegeta first. The current soldiers weren't strong enough. Yes, Lord Frieza, Berry Blue nodded. Just then, a galactic soldier entered and said, Lord Frieza, 4 people are outside asking to see you. One of them is incredibly powerful. Our new detectors can't measure his strength. Frieza froze, crushing his wine glass. What? Someone our detectors can't measure? Let him in. He was hiring new officers, and anyone with 1,000,000-level strength could become significant in his legion. Yes, Lord Frieza. After the soldier left, 4 figures walked in. Saiyans? Frieza exclaimed, surprised. 2 of them were clearly Saiyans, and he sensed immense power from the young one. We greet Lord Frieza, the newcomer said respectfully, aware of his fearsome reputation. Oh, what are your names? Frieza asked, pleased. Lord Frieza, I'm Lemo, and this is my partner Chillai. These 2 Saiyans are who we found, Lemo answered quickly. Good job, Berry Blue. Take Lemo and Chillai to receive their reward. Frieza instructed. Yes, Lord Frieza. Berry Blue led them out, and Frieza turned to the 2 Saiyans. What are your names? Lord Frieza, I'm Colonel Paragas from Planet Vegeta, and this is my son Broly. Paragas replied, fear evident in his voice. Broly, I sense great power within you. You'll join my Frieza Legion and do well. Now go clean up, Frieza said, unable to hide his excitement. He didn't expect to find another Saiyan warrior, especially one as powerful as Broly. If Broly could hold off Goku and Vegeta, Frieza could eliminate the new Saiyan and then deal with them. Yes, Lord Frieza. Paragus nodded and left with Broly. Subble? Meanwhile, on Earth, Goku and Vegeta were in a fierce battle. After seeing Goten fight Beerus, they realized they needed to improve their strength. Boom! Boom! The ground shook as they fought, but luckily they were far from West City, protected by Bulma's energy barrier. As long as they didn't transform into Super Saiyan, they couldn't break it. Beerus and Whis enjoyed snacks while Goten soaked up the sun. His strength had improved significantly, though it still couldn't match the Grand Priest. After half an hour, Goku and Vegeta stopped, exhausted and hungry. Suddenly, Goten sensed two powerful forces approaching Earth, one resonating with his own blood. Whose K is this? Is it Broly? Goten wondered. His legendary Super Saiyan bloodline would resonate with Broly. Along with him was an evil aura, Frieza, who had escaped a month ago. If Frieza had found Broly, it could mean trouble. After the Tournament of Power, Frieza likely recruited Broly to cause chaos. Goten's appearance had forced Frieza to flee last time, but now he was back. Minutes later, Goku and Vegeta also sensed the approaching forces. Vegeta, do you feel that? Too strong cake, Goku said, his expression serious. Yeah, one of them feels like that bastard Frieza, Vegeta replied, recognizing Frieza's familiar evil ki. These auras are closing in fast. I can't let Frieza endanger the universe again, Goku said, clenching his fists. He wouldn't let Frieza escape this time. Looks like we're in for a fight, Whis noted, seeing their serious expressions. Let's move somewhere else. We can't destroy this place, Goku suggested, flying toward a desolate glacier area. Vegeta, Goten, and Whis followed, while Beerus remained focused on his food. Once at the glacier, Goku unleashed his power to attract Frieza and his followers. Rumble. A few minutes later, a massive spaceship appeared, blocking out the sun. Goku and Vegeta felt an uneasy tension as the ship landed. Dozens of galactic soldiers lined up, and Frieza stepped out, flanked by Paragas and Broly. Seeing Broly, Goten's eyes lit up. Is it really Broly? My guess was right. This saves me a trip to Vampa, he thought, eager to connect with Broly's bloodline. This Broly was different from the one he had killed before. He had explosive power that could rapidly increase in battle. Frieza, you again. Last time you escaped, but this time I'll send you back to hell. Goku shouted upon seeing him. Hey, 2 more Saiyans? I didn't expect other survivors in the universe, Vegeta remarked, eyeing Paragas and Broly. I thought we were the only surviving Saiyans in the universe. I didn't realize there were others, Vegeta said. Hey, these monkeys. Mr. Broly, that's Vegeta, the one whose father sent you and your father to that uninhabited planet, Frieza sneered, showing no fear. He sensed that Broly was no ordinary Saiyan. Broly, go get Vegeta. If it weren't for his father, we wouldn't have been exiled on planet Vampa for over 40 years. Paragus ordered. Though Vegeta had nothing to do with their exile, he was still the son of King Vegeta, and the blame fell on him. Broly bared his teeth, a fierce expression on his face. He had always been taught that King Vegeta was responsible for their suffering, so his hatred naturally fell on Vegeta. What does that old guy's actions have to do with me? But if you want to fight, I'm ready, Vegeta replied, feeling disconnected from his father's past. With a roar, Broly unleashed a silver-white aura and charged at Vegeta. You think you can challenge me? Vegeta scoffed, dismissing Broly as just another Saiyan. He figured he could easily defeat him without transforming. As Broly lunged, Vegeta extended his hand and blocked the attack before delivering a heavy punch to Broly's face. Whoosh! Rumble! Broly was sent skidding across the ground, clearly outmatched in raw strength. What? How is this possible? My son Broly is supposed to be the strongest Saiyan. Why is Vegeta so powerful? Paragus gasped, horrified. He remembered Vegeta as weaker than Broly. I faced many challenges, allowing me to grow stronger. Your son may have talent, but with your training methods, he can't surpass Vegeta. Frieza scoffed. Talent alone wasn't enough without proper guidance. Roaring in anger, Broly surged with newfound power and charged at Vegeta again. Still don't know your place? Fine, I'll get rid of you, Vegeta said, still underestimating Broly. He felt confident he could handle him without transforming. Broly punched, and Vegeta blocked again, but this time the outcome was different. Boom. Their fists collided, sending Vegeta flying back. Wait, how did his strength increase so much? Vegeta wondered, shocked. Broly's punch had left his arm numb. Roar. Broly charged again, not giving Vegeta time to recover. This time, Vegeta dodged and countered with a swing, hitting Broly's face, but Broly didn't budge. He held Vegeta's fist, slightly tilting his head in response. Roar! Pain surged through Broly, and with a fierce roar, he unleashed a powerful force, catching Vegeta off guard. Before Vegeta could react, Broly delivered a brutal uppercut. Boom, rumble. Vegeta was sent crashing into the ice. Rah! Broly roared. Losing control, he charged at Vegeta again. Ho, even without proper training, Broly's growth is impressive. He's giving Vegeta a tough time. Unlike that wild monkey Goku, I'll handle Vegeta myself. Frieza said, pleased with Broly's progress. Frieza then turned his attention to Goten, his next target. On the other side, as Broly attacked the ice, golden rays burst through the surface, and Vegeta leaped up, transformed into a Super Saiyan. Seeing Vegeta's transformation, Broly and Paragus were puzzled. What? Vegeta's hair turned golden. Is this the legendary Super Saiyan? Paragus stammered, stepping back in fear. Was it really true? What? Broly can't transform into a Super Saiyan? Frieza asked, surprised. All the Saiyans he knew had mastered it. Yes, Broly can't transform, Paragus admitted awkwardly. It was a shame, as Broly had no better mentor. It doesn't matter. With some help, Broly should achieve Super Saiyan status soon. But you'll need to assist, Frieza said, a malicious grin forming. Paragus felt a chill, sensing danger. Huh? How can I help Broly transform? If it were possible, he would have transformed long ago, Paragus replied, confused. That's right, it's you. I know what it takes to become a Super Saiyan, Frieza said, recalling how Goku transformed after Krillin's death. Intense anger was the key, and he believed Broly could do the same. What do I need to do? Paragus asked quickly, feeling like prey. Ho ho ho! You don't have to do anything. I'll help you finish. Frieza's eyes glinted with malice as he conjured a crimson death beam. Before Paragus could react, the beam pierced his chest. He coughed and fell to the ground, lifeless. Frieza shouted to Broly, Mr. Broly, these cruel Saiyans killed your father. Currently, Frieza's expression was worthy of an actor's performance. Perhaps it was because the Oscar committee felt they owed Frieza a statuette, so they gave him a golden form. Not far away, Broly, who was fighting Vegeta, heard Frieza's words and suddenly turned his head to look at Frieza. Then he saw Paragus with his chest pierced. At that moment, a flash of lightning struck Broly's mind. He froze in place, especially after seeing Paragus fall to the ground. After being stunned for a moment, he held his head with both hands and screamed in pain. A wave of incomparable anger ignited from the bottom of his heart. Veins popped up on his forehead suddenly, and a golden light flashed in his pupils. Roar! In the next second, a heart-piercing roar resounded throughout the battlefield. Along with Broly's roar, the aura in his body became more and more terrifying, constantly increasing. At this moment, Vegeta, who was standing opposite him, quickly raised his arms to block the terrifying aura. However, under the impact of that powerful ki, Vegeta's body still retreated uncontrollably. Are you kidding me? How is this possible? How did this guy increase his strength to such a level in an instant? Vegeta narrowed his eyes slightly, with an unbelievable and solemn look. In just a short moment, this guy's strength had actually increased to this level. Just relying on ki alone, he kept Vegeta retreating. Obviously, Broly's strength at this time had far surpassed Vegeta in his Super Saiyan form. Damn it, that Frieza, how could he do such a thing? Goku looked at Frieza, who was acting, clenched his fists tightly, and said angrily, this guy was just too insidious. Not only did he kill Broly's father, but he also planted the blame on them. But at the same time, Goku felt the change in Broly. This powerful aura was no longer comparable to that of Super Saiyan Vegeta. It was estimated that even if they became Super Saiyan Blue, it would be difficult to fight against it. Hey, isn't it a little bit weird? I never thought that Broly's talent would be so exaggerated. In such a short period, his strength has reached this level. Whis, on the side, was also quite surprised. After all, Goku and Vegeta were already very talented Saiyans, but the speed at which they improved their strength was not at the same level as Broly in front of them. And now it seemed that Vegeta knew that even if he became Super Saiyan Blue, it would be difficult to win this battle. Roar! Broly was still roaring crazily, and the silvery white aura, flames around his body, instantly turned grass green. It was in the shape of a jet, continuously gushing out from his body. Swish! In the next second, Broly's pupils directly turned golden, and his black hair was pushed up high. This was Broly's rage form. Although he had not really become a Super Saiyan, it was more than enough to deal with the current Vegeta. But at this moment, Broly's aura obviously didn't stop, but continued to explode. Accompanied by the heart-piercing roar, the aura in Broly's body became stronger and stronger. Oh! While continuously raising his breath, Broly's pupils suddenly disappeared without a trace. In the next second, his black hair also turned golden. The green ki aura around his body was more turbulent. At this moment, Broly's strength already made Vegeta feel very uneasy. The ki released from this guy's body had far exceeded his imagination. There should be a limit to joking around. How did this guy's power increase to such a level? It was obvious that his strength just now was far from my normal state. But now, even if I become Super Saiyan Blue, I may not be able to beat him. While Vegeta was thinking about this, the angry Broly had completely lost his mind. After transforming into the form of a Super Saiyan, he rushed directly towards Vegeta. "Stop getting carried away, you bastard!" The proud Vegeta roared angrily. In the next second, a blue aura erupted from his body, transforming him instantly into Super Saiyan Blue. Broly would have killed him if he didn't transform. Although reluctant to admit it, Vegeta knew it was the truth. But the moment Vegeta transformed, Broly was already in front of him. Broly's clenched fist punched out, and Vegeta quickly raised his arms to block. Boom! With a low crash, Vegeta's body was blown away by Broly's punch. He smashed through dozens of icebergs and slid on the ground for several tens of feet before barely stopping. His arms had completely lost feeling, and his chest throbbed with pain. What kind of monster is this? Vegeta began to doubt his life. In just a few minutes, this guy had surpassed his Super Saiyan Blue strength. Even as Super Saiyan Blue, he was powerless against Broly. Roar! Broly roared again, swinging his right hand. A series of grass-green energy balls blasted towards Vegeta, who could only dodge quickly. Wherever the energy balls went, the ice began to crumble and evaporate. Frieza, watching the battle from a distance, was extremely excited by Broly's power. With Broly's current strength, he could easily defeat Goku and Vegeta. As long as he got rid of the other Saiyan, his revenge would be successful, and there would be no longer any opponent for him on Earth. Then, there would be no need for this garbage planet to exist. Ho 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 ho, damn Saiyans, I will let you be completely wiped out on this planet today. After a sharp laugh, Frieza turned into his golden form and appeared in front of Goten in an instant. Oh, Frieza, do you think I'm your opponent? Goten said with a smile. Your stupidity really surprises me. Although he knew Frieza wasn't very smart, Goten didn't expect him to regard himself as an opponent. Such an idea was dangerous because it was stupid. Hey, it's really a stupid decision. Whis sighed. It looked like Frieza was going to be sent back to hell again today. Or worse, maybe even hell wouldn't be able to hold him. Damn you, arrogant Saiyan, are you still pretending to be calm? Frieza sneered. When you are killed by me, I will see if you are still so stubborn. In Frieza's opinion, Goten was simply vulnerable. He had stabilized his golden form, preventing rapid depletion of his physical energy, and his strength had greatly improved. Getting rid of a Saiyan like Goten was a piece of cake. The moment the voice fell, Frieza rushed towards Goten. His speed was fast, but only relatively speaking. To Goten and Whis, Frieza's speed was comparable to a snail. The moment Frieza rushed over, Goten grabbed him by the neck. What? What? Frieza was instantly dumbfounded as staring at Goten with terrified eyes. He didn't expect this Saiyan to be so powerful. He didn't realize what had happened until Goten already had him by the throat. Stupidity always has a price. Goten said calmly, and idiots like you, I don't think there is any need to resurrect them in the future. Disappear completely. The moment Goten's faint voice fell, a powerful force of destruction burst from his palm. In the next second, Frieza's body was completely destroyed. This time, even his soul was annihilated. Not even the hell he hated the most before could hold him now. Goten! On the side, Goku saw Goten destroy Frieza in an instant, and his face showed incomparable surprise. Although he knew Goten was much stronger than Frieza, seeing him completely erase Frieza in such a merciless way shocked him. It even felt like Goten's action was a bit too decisive. Hey, Goten's fighting style really doesn't leave room for indecisiveness. Whis was also slightly surprised, but quickly returned to normal. After all, keeping a guy like Frieza around was a disaster, and he had a lot of malice towards Saiyans. Meanwhile, on the other side, Broly, transformed into the legendary Super Saiyan form, had Vegeta pinned down. Despite Vegeta being in his Super Saiyan Blue form, he couldn't even parry Broly's attacks and was relentlessly pummeled. Damn, why is that guy so powerful? Even after Vegeta became Super Saiyan Blue, he's still not a match, Goku muttered, his face growing more serious. Although he suspected Broly might be very strong, his performance was outrageous. Vegeta in Super Saiyan Blue had no strength against him. Ha! Goku roared and transformed into Super Saiyan Blue. He knew Vegeta wouldn't want his help, but if this continued, Vegeta might be killed. As a good friend, he couldn't let that happen. Perhaps teaming up with Vegeta was their only chance to defeat Broly. As he turned into Super Saiyan Blue, Goku rushed directly towards Broly. Vegeta, lying on the ground and completely losing his ability to fight, exited his Super Saiyan Blue form. The transformation itself was very stamina-consuming, and after such a violent beating, Vegeta no longer had the stamina to maintain it. Broly, Goku roared, punching Broly hard in the face at breakneck speed. Boom! The powerful force made Broly take a step back uncontrollably. His face slightly turned to the side, but that was all. Growl. Stimulated by pain, Broly growled like a beast. Using brute force, he forcibly turned his head back, glaring at Goku with anger. What? What the hell is this guy made of? Goku's face instantly showed a heavy expression. The punch he had just thrown carried all his strength, yet it only made Broly take half a step back, and it hit Broly hard in the face, without causing any apparent harm. Roar! Suddenly, Broly roared, grabbing Goku's wrist. His other fist came up with a hard uppercut, hitting Goku directly in the stomach. Piss. A mouthful of stomach acid spewed out of Goku's mouth as his abdomen churned. The power of this punch was truly terrifying. Goku recognized the gap between himself and Broly. No matter how much his strength improved, he couldn't be Broly's opponent. This guy was just too powerful. With one hand tightly grasped by Broly, Goku had no way to break free. Bang, bang, bang. Broly uppercut 3 more times in a row, and blood spurted from Goku's mouth. The gap between them was immense and couldn't be bridged in a short time. Goku could feel Broly's aura still rising. At this desperate moment, Goku thought of the only possible solution, fusion. Vegeta, we have to fuse, he shouted, hoping his friends still had the strength to join him. They needed to combine their powers to stand any chance against this unstoppable force. Damn it! We'll be killed if he goes on like this. What do we do? Goku was panicking. Although he had encountered countless strong opponents before, he felt hopeless now. Broly was unlike anyone he had ever faced. If this continued, there was no doubt that he would be completely killed. As Goku panicked, a grass-green energy ball instantly condensed in Broly's palm and struck his chest. Boom! The energy ball exploded, creating a huge crater in the ice. Water began to flood under their feet as Goku's body flew backward uncontrollably. The previous punches had already seriously injured him, and this energy wave attack made Goku lose the ability to fight. His blue hair instantly turned back to black. Whoosh! At the same time, Goten jumped up and caught Goku as he flew backward. Goten, that Broly is too strong. His strength is far beyond Frieza's. You must be careful. Goku quickly reminded Goten. Broly was definitely the strongest opponent he had ever seen besides Beerus, and his astonishing growth rate was unmatched. Okay, I see. Goten nodded, then threw Goku in front of Whis. His body flashed as he walked directly towards Broly. At this moment, Broly was completely out of control. The grass-green kid aura around his body was more turbulent, and his golden hair moved as if in a windless breeze. Seeing Goten, Broly started grinning. Roar. With another roar, Broly charged directly at Goten. In his eyes, everyone was an enemy. He threw a straightforward punch to Goten's chest, but Goten's strength was not comparable to Vegeta and Goku. Stretching out his right palm, he easily blocked Broly's fist. Broly was clearly taken aback, surprised that his fist was blocked. He began attacking quickly again, his fists turning into countless after images. constantly blasting towards Goten. Goten just kept moving his right hand, blocking all of Broly's attacks. That's it, Broly. Although your strength is very strong, it is impossible to surpass me, Goten said lightly. He didn't know if Broly could understand, but Broly didn't listen. He rushed over like a beast again. As he threw his fist, Goten grabbed his wrist and pulled back, then pushed up his right knee heavily. Boom. A mouthful of blood spurted out from Broly's mouth as his body bent over. A random blow in Goten's normal state had seriously injured Broly. Goten was not interested in this fight. His only purpose was to acquire Broly's super bloodline. Before Broly could react, Goten slashed the back of Broly's head with a knife. A buzzing sound filled Broly's mind, and his ki dissipated instantly. He closed his eyes and passed out. Goten grabbed Broly by the collar, holding him like a chicken. At that moment, the notification sound of the system rang in Goten's mind. Ding, congratulations to the host for picking up Broly's bloodline. The moment the notification sounded, a look of joy appeared on Goten's face. If the growth-type legendary bloodline and the explosive-type legendary bloodline were fused together, it wouldn't be so difficult for him to defeat the Grand Priest. This kid, it's too humiliating for us, isn't it? We fought so hard for so long, and ended up hurt so badly, and Goten, this boy, actually took care of Broly in a flash. Vegeta muttered, his face contorted with frustration. He had long known Goten's strength was outrageous, but seeing him handle Broly, who was so much stronger than them, in an instant was quite a blow. At this time, Goten had already brought Broly back to Whis, and Goku, Goten, you're too good, aren't you? You actually made Broly lose consciousness in an instant, Goku said excitedly. It would be nice if he also had the power to be as strong as Goten. By the way, Goten, what are you gonna do with Broly? Although this guy loses sanity after transforming into a Super Saiyan, I don't think he is a bad guy. The reason why he came to Earth to destroy was probably instigated by Frieza. Goku spoke again. Although Broly was strong enough, he had no consciousness after transformation, but Goku always felt that Broly wasn't truly a villain. His destructive actions on Earth must have been instigated by Frieza. From his previous performance, Broly seemed like a very filial Saiyan, a rare trait among Saiyans who typically had a weak concept of family affection. You're right, Dad. Broly isn't a bad guy. It was all Frieza's plan. So, I'm going to take him with me and help him develop his potential. He'll be a really good fighter. Goten said, seriously. He had never intended to kill Broly, only to acquire his bloodline. Now that his goal was achieved, he saw potential in Broly to become a mighty warrior and protector of the planet. Well, that's great to hear you say that, because I feel the same way. Goku quickly nodded with a smile. The scene where Goten easily destroyed Frieza was still fresh in his mind, and he was concerned Goten might be too ruthless. But it seemed Goten was only harsh with evildoers. Okay, since the matter is settled, let's go back. Goten took Broly, and they returned to the villa built by Bulma. Later, Goten helped heal Broly. Soon Broly woke up. Grog. After seeing Goten and Vegeta, Broly immediately bared his teeth. In his subconscious, he already regarded them as enemies. Calm down, Broly. Your father was not killed by us, but by Frieza, Goten said immediately, resting his hand on Broly's shoulder. The powerful force instantly calmed Broly. At that moment, a spaceship quickly approached. Two relatively weak keys were on board. As they got closer, the group saw it was Chialai and Lemo. Goten let them in. Seeing that Broly was fine, both Chialai and Lemo had happy smiles on their faces. They had brought Broly out of that planet and would have felt very guilty if he was killed because of them. Broly, it's good to see you, all right. Chialai hurriedly walked in front of Broly and said happily. It was clear that Chialai seemed to have a special interest in Broly. Broly, I saw what happened clearly. Your father wasn't killed by these people in front of you. Frieza killed your father to provoke you into unleashing greater strength, Lemo quickly explained, fearing that Broly might again clash with the people before him. He knew well that if Broly fought these individuals, it would only lead to his demise. The power of these individuals was far too immense. Frieza. Broly's mood fluctuated significantly upon hearing the name. It's okay, Broly. Frieza has been killed by me, Goten said, patting Broly on the shoulder. Broly glanced at Goten, then at Chialai and Lemo, and his mood gradually calmed. In his heart, he had long considered Chialai and Lemo as good friends. Seeing them with him now made him feel less lonely. Sir, can we stay here with Broly? He would be very lonely without us, Chilai pleaded, looking at Goten. She knew he was the strongest and held the absolute authority. Then you stay here. Goten nodded directly. Although Chilai and Lemel were once members of the Frieza Legion, they had good hearts and didn't commit any wrongdoing. Since this was Broly's first time on Earth and he wouldn't easily get along with Goku and Vegeta, having Chilai and Lemel by his side would keep him grounded. Thank you, thank you. Chilai expressed her gratitude quickly. Goten then arranged accommodations for Broly and Chilai. He planned to go to the hyperbolic time chamber next. Having acquired Broly's bloodline, he needed to fuse it with the two legendary Saiyan bloodlines. Despite the risk, facing opponents like the Grand Priest and Zeno required him to take this chance. Without the fusion, he didn't know how long it would take to match their power. This place again. The sight is truly unforgettable. Goten sighed as he entered the hyperbolic time chamber. The space was almost identical to the previous Void Realm, but here he wouldn't be bound by iron chains. System, can you fuse the three legendary Saiyan bloodlines? Goten silently asked in his mind. It is possible, host, but there will be a certain risk factor. The stronger the bloodline, the greater the risk when performing fusion. The three legendary Saiyan bloodlines you want to fuse are extremely powerful individually. The system's voice quickly responded in his mind. For ordinary bloodlines, the chance of a successful fusion with his existing bloodline would be 100%. For two legendary bloodlines, the chance was as high as 9. However, fusing three legendary bloodlines perfectly had a success rate of only about 30%. Host, the system's suggestion is that there is no need for the host to perform bloodline fusion because the fusion of bloodlines carries certain risks. If it fails, the host essence might become damaged. The system warned again. Start the fusion. Goten commanded. Despite the system's caution, Goten knew that to compete with behemoths like the Grand Priest, his current strength was insufficient. Only by fusing the three legendary Saiyan bloodlines could he significantly enhance his power quickly. This was his best chance to gain the strength needed to face such formidable opponents. Okay, host. The system complied. Despite the risks, it had to follow Goten's instructions. Host. Please prepare. The bloodline fusion will start in a minute. During the process, there may be significant pain. Endure it. The system's voice echoed in his mind. Goten began counting down the seconds silently. He recalled the excruciating pain from his last bloodline fusion, which felt like every bone in his body was being shattered and reformed. This time, fusing three bloodlines, the pain would undoubtedly be even more intense. As the countdown ended, a heart-piercing pain surged through every inch of his body. Ugh. The agony of bone reconstruction made Goten grit his teeth. However, he could bear this physical pain. Compared to being trapped in the void for 75 years, this was relatively mild. Physical pain could never compare to mental trauma. Time ticked by slowly. Every inch of his bones and skin seemed to be undergoing transformation. The pain persisted for 10 minutes. Dink. Congratulations to the host for successfully fusing the bloodlines. The system's notification rang in his mind, and the pain gradually subsided. To an end, the power of plot armor prevails. Grime covered his body, and sweat had soaked most of the ground. Goten felt the earth-shaking changes within him. Clenching his fists slightly, he sensed the power surging like a raging ocean. This newfound power was significantly stronger than before. Not only had his normal power increased, but his transformation power had also risen exponentially. It feels so good. This strength is incredible, Goten exclaimed, feeling the immense power coursing through him. This was an unprecedented sensation. With this power, he believed he was closer to the level of the Grand Priest, especially in his Limit Break Super Saiyan 4. He wanted to test his strength. Closing his eyes briefly, he reopened them, releasing a terrifying grass-green ki aura. His pupils turned golden, and his hair remained grass-green. Though his appearance had not changed much, the force he exuded was immense, far surpassing his previous level. Rumble! The hyperbolic time chamber's dimensional space collapsed under the pressure of his power, even though Goten was restraining his aura. Had he not, the entire 7th universe might have been destroyed. Meanwhile, on Earth, Goku and Vegeta felt Goten's powerful ki as they trained in Bulma's custom-made villa. They immediately stopped, horror etched on their faces. What? This powerful force is Goten's ki. How is it possible? How could Goten's aura reach this level? This is too terrifying. Goku exclaimed in shock. Even here, I can feel the oppressive feeling. Although they knew Goten's strength was immense before, this new power was truly shocking. Even Beerus was not a match for Goten, but the power now being released was beyond their imagination. It felt like a bottomless abyss, impossible to gauge, even from a great distance, and despite Goten reining it in, they still felt the threat of death from his aura. And can a mortal really reach such a level? Goku wondered aloud, incredulous. Unbelievable. Vegeta exclaimed, "Damn it, he's just a half-breed. Why is he so much stronger than us?" Vegeta was beginning to doubt everything. Goten's current strength was beyond anything they could conceive, filling him with both shock and jealousy. "Kakara, it seems that in another timeline you really gave birth to a monster. How did he become so powerful?" Vegeta complained. He couldn't understand why the Goten in their timeline had shown only mediocre talent after breaking through Super Saiyan as a kid, despite constant training, while the Goten from another timeline had achieved unimaginable strength. "How could I know?" Goku replied helplessly. He too was at a loss to explain what had made the Goten from another timeline so powerful. It was no exaggeration to say that this Goten might already be stronger than an angel, something they had never dared to imagine before. Meanwhile, in the realm of the god of destruction of the seventh universe, Beerus was enjoying Earth's delicacies. When he was suddenly taken aback, the delicacies fell from his hands as he looked in a certain direction in horror. "This power, Whis, can you feel it?" "This extremely powerful aura?" Beerus asked, his face a mask of shock. "Yes, Lord Beerus, the aura just now belonged to Goten. It's unbelievable. In a short period, his strength seems to have made a huge breakthrough. There's no doubt that this force has become so powerful that even we angels are afraid of it." Whis replied, his expression equally solemn. Previously, Goten had shown exceptional fighting talent and strength, surpassing even the god of destruction, but at that time he hadn't displayed his full strength, and Whis never thought Goten could surpass an angel. Now his entire perception was shattered. Goten's power seemed not only to surpass the level of an angel, but far exceed it. "This Goten is a monster." Beerus exclaimed, "Is a monster?" Beerus exclaimed, "If Lord Zeno and the Grand Priest find out, it will be a disaster." The increase in mortal power in the universe should be a good thing for the gods. However, Goten was a mortal from another timeline, with more powerful energy than both the god of destruction and the angels. If the Grand Priest and Zeno discovered this powerful mortal, the situation could become troublesome. If they realized Goten was from another timeline and that the gods of destruction had done nothing, they might face severe punishment. It is possible, Lord Beerus. If it were ordinary power, it would be impossible to reach Lord Zeno's palace. But now Goten's power includes mortal, god, and angel energy, specifically that of Angel Murno. If the Grand Priest senses it, he will definitely investigate, Whis said, very seriously. Murno had been gone for hundreds of millions of years, and now his angel aura had suddenly reappeared. If the Grand Priest sensed this, he would surely come to investigate. If the Grand Priest was dispatched, the situation would become dire. Beerus's expression grew even grimmer upon hearing this, but there was nothing he could do. His strength couldn't match Goten's, nor could he punish him. Driving Goten away was almost impossible for him, and even for Whis. Just after Beerus sensed the immense force, the gods of destruction and angels from other universes began to detect it as well. The aura from Goten had not only spread throughout the seventh universe, but had reached all the surrounding universes. All the angels and gods of destruction were astonished in their experience. Aside from Zeno and the Grand Priest, there didn't seem to be any other being with such overwhelming power. What was even more surprising was that this aura was mixed with mortal ki, indicating it was not purely divine. This revelation shocked them even further. At the same time, the Grand Priest in Zeno's palace also felt this incredible force, especially recognizing the familiar angel power. This is Murno's angel power. The Grand Priest wondered aloud, "What's happening? Murno's aura has appeared suddenly, but Murno himself is not here. The aura belongs to him, but he is not present." He noted the presence of mortal power, divine power, and destructive power. This mixture was unprecedented, and it was something he had never encountered before. Even after observing the 12 universes, no being possessed such a powerful and unique combination. The Grand Priest's normally calm demeanor was replaced by an expression of shock. Though he usually maintained a serene and unshakable facade, the power he had just sensed was so immense that it rivaled even his own. The Grand Priest was puzzled. The Force combined mortal, angel, and god of destruction auras simultaneously, something he had never seen before. There was no such being in the 12 universes. Meanwhile, the two guards beside Zeno also felt the powerful force. Their brows raised slightly in surprise. It had been a long time since they had sensed such a significant power, far surpassing that of the usual gods of destruction. Zeno, however, seemed unaware of the situation, continuing to play with his favorite marbles, which were actually planets from the universe. After playing for over 10 minutes, he appeared a bit bored and turned to look at the Grand Priest. Noticing the Grand Priest's frown, Zeno's childish voice asked curiously, "Grand Priest, you seem troubled. Did something happen in the universe?" The Grand Priest, who was always smiling, had not shown such a serious expression in many years. He responded respectfully and sincerely, "Yes, Lord Zeno, I just felt an extremely powerful aura, which seems to have originated from the 7th universe. This aura surpasses all gods of destruction and angels, reaching an unprecedented level. We have never encountered such a powerful being in the 12 universes, and it has piqued my curiosity." The Grand Priest was eager to find out who could wield such immense power. This force even seemed to surpass that of the dragon god Zalama. If the owner of this aura was not benevolent, it could pose a threat to the 12 universes. "Huh? Is there someone this remarkable?" Zeno asked in surprise. By seeing his surprise, one wouldn't know if this guy really didn't perceive this powerful aura before, or he was just pretending all the time. From his expression, it seemed that he was genuinely interested. Lord Zeno, what the Grand Priest said is absolutely correct, one of Zeno's guards confirmed. We also felt the powerful aura. It not only fused the power of a god of destruction, but also the power of an angel. It's a formidable adversary. The guards were also deeply shocked by the aura, having never encountered such overwhelming power in their long history. If this being were an opponent, even they would find it extremely challenging. "Hey, is there really something this extraordinary happening?" Zeno exclaimed. "You three are taking it so seriously. Now, I'm very interested in this person you mentioned. Grand Priest, why don't you bring him here? I'd like to see who possesses such incredible power. He might be quite an interesting fellow." Having heard the same from both the Grand Priest and his guards, Zeno's interest was piqued. Such a powerful fighter deserved a closer look. "Okay, Lord Zeno, that's what I thought just now. There is such a powerful character in the universe, so I naturally want to meet him." The Grand Priest nodded quickly and smiled. As Zeno's attendant, he had the obligation to inspect this universe thoroughly. If the owner of the aura that appeared just now was a vicious person, he was also obliged to completely erase it. "Then Lord Zeno, I'm going." After the Grand Priest spoke respectfully to Zeno, he walked out of Zeno's palace. After leaving Zeno's palace, a purple void rift suddenly appeared in front of the Grand Priest. He stepped into it and finally disappeared completely. When he appeared again, he was already in the god of destruction realm of the 7th universe. The reason he didn't go directly to that guy was because he wanted to ask the 7th universe god of destruction Beerus and Angel Whis what had happened. At the moment the Grand Priest appeared, Beerus was so scared he fell to the ground. Whis also knelt down respectfully in front of him. It seemed that, in his eyes, the Grand Priest was more threatening than Zeno. As an angel himself, he had more respect for the Grand Priest than Zeno. "We greet the Grand Priest. I don't know why you are here. What's your order?" Beerus asked in a trembling tone, his face full of horror. However, he was also very clear in his heart that the Grand Priest came because of what happened with Goten just now. The Grand Priest had not left the Temple of Zeno for tens of millions of years. The last time he appeared in the 7th universe was tens of millions of years ago. So his sudden appearance now, especially after Goten burst out with a powerful aura, obviously had something to do with Goten. Both Whis and Beerus were very clear about this. Boom! A mouthful of blood spurted out from Broly's mouth as his body bent over. A random blow in Goten's normal state had seriously injured Broly. Goten was not interested in this fight. His only purpose was to acquire Broly's super bloodline. Before Broly could react, Goten slashed the back of Broly's head with a knife. A buzzing sound filled Broly's mind, and his ki dissipated instantly. He closed his eyes and passed out. Goten grabbed Broly by the collar, holding him like a chicken. At that moment, the notification sound of the system rang in Goten's mind. Ding, congratulations to the host for picking up Broly's bloodline. The moment the notification sounded, a look of joy appeared on Goten's face. If the Growth-type legendary bloodline and the Explosive-type legendary bloodline were fused together, it wouldn't be so difficult for him to defeat the Grand Priest. This kid, it's too humiliating for us, isn't it? We fought so hard for so long and ended up hurt so badly, and Goten, this boy, actually took care of Broly in a flash. Vegeta muttered, his face contorted with frustration. He had long known Goten's strength was outrageous, but seeing him handle Broly, who was so much stronger than them, in an instant was quite a blow. At this time, Goten had already brought Broly back to Whis and Goku. Goten, you're too good, aren't you? You actually made Broly lose consciousness in an instant, Goku said excitedly. It would be nice if he also had the power to be as strong as Goten. By the way, Goten, what are you going to do with Broly? Although this guy loses sanity after transforming into a Super Saiyan, I don't think he is a bad guy. The reason why he came to Earth to destroy was probably instigated by Frieza. Goku spoke again. Although Broly was strong enough, he had no consciousness after transformation. But Goku always felt that Broly wasn't truly a villain. His destructive actions on Earth must have been instigated by Frieza. From his previous performance, Broly seemed like a very filial Saiyan, a rare trait among Saiyans who typically had a weak concept of family affection. You're right, Dad. Broly isn't a bad guy. It was all Frieza's plan. So I'm going to take him with me and help him develop his potential. He'll be a really good fighter, Goten said seriously. He had never intended to kill Broly, only to acquire his bloodline. Now that his goal was achieved, he saw potential in Broly to become a mighty warrior and protector of the planet. Well, that's great to hear you say that, because I feel the same way. Goku quickly nodded with a smile. The scene where Goten easily destroyed Frieza was still fresh in his mind, and he was concerned Goten might be too ruthless, but it seemed Goten was only harsh with evildoers. Okay, since the matter is settled, let's go back. Goten took Broly, and they returned to the villa built by Bulma. Later, Goten helped heal Broly. Soon, Broly woke up. Grr. After seeing Goten and Vegeta, Broly immediately bared his teeth. In his subconscious, he already regarded them as enemies. Calm down, Broly. Your father was not killed by us, but by Frieza, Goten said immediately, resting his hand on Broly's shoulder. The powerful force instantly calmed Broly. At that moment, a spaceship quickly approached. Two relatively weak Keys were on board. As they got closer, the group saw it was Chilai and Limo that then let them in. Seeing that Broly was fine, both Chilai and Limo had happy smiles on their faces. They had brought Broly out of that planet and would have felt very guilty if he was killed because of them. Broly, it's good to see you. All right. Chilai hurriedly walked in front of Broly and said happily. It was clear that Chilai seemed to have a special interest in Broly. Broly, I saw what happened clearly. Your father wasn't killed by these people in front of you. Frieza killed your father to provoke you into unleashing greater strength, Lemo quickly explained, fearing that Broly might again clash with the people before him. He knew well that if Broly fought these individuals, it would only lead to his demise. The power of these individuals was far too immense. Frieza? Broly's mood fluctuated significantly upon hearing the name. It's okay, Broly. Frieza has been killed by me, Goten said, patting Broly on the shoulder. Broly glanced at Goten, then at Chilai and Limo, and his mood gradually calmed. In his heart, he had long considered Chilai and Limo as good friends. Seeing them with him now made him feel less lonely. Sir, can we stay here with Broly? He would be very lonely without us, Chilai pleaded, looking at Goten. She knew he was the strongest and held the absolute authority. Then you stay here. Goten nodded directly. Although Chilai and Limo were once members of the Frieza Legion, they had good hearts and didn't commit any wrongdoing. Since this was Broly's first time on Earth, and he wouldn't easily get along with Goku and Vegeta, having Chilai and Limo by his side would keep him grounded. Thank you, thank you! Chilai expressed her gratitude quickly. Goten arranged accommodations for Broly and Chilai. He planned to go to the hyperbolic time chamber next. Having acquired Broly's bloodline, he needed to fuse it with the two legendary Saiyan bloodlines. Despite the risk, facing opponents like the Grand Priest and Zeno required him to take this chance. Without the fusion, he didn't know how long it would take to match their power. This place again. The sight is truly unforgettable, Goten sighed as he entered the hyperbolic time chamber. The space was almost identical to the previous Void Realm, but here, he wouldn't be bound by iron chains. System, can you fuse the 3 legendary Saiyan bloodlines? Goten silently asked in his mind. It is possible, host, but there will be a certain risk factor. The stronger the bloodline, the greater the risk when performing fusion. The 3 legendary Saiyan bloodlines you want to fuse are extremely powerful individually. The system's voice quickly responded in his mind. For ordinary bloodlines, the chance of a successful fusion with his existing bloodline would be a 100%. For 2 legendary bloodlines, the chance was as high as 90%. However, fusing 3 legendary bloodlines perfectly had a success rate of only about 30%. Host. The system's suggestion is that there is no need for the host to perform bloodline fusion, because the fusion of bloodlines carries certain risks. If it fails, the host essence might become damaged. The system warned again. Start the fusion, Goten commanded. Despite the system's caution, Goten knew that to compete with behemoths like the Grand Priest, his current strength was insufficient. Only by fusing the 3 legendary Saiyan bloodlines could he significantly enhance his power quickly. This was his best chance to gain the strength needed to face such formidable opponents. Okay, hosts. The system complied. Despite the risks, it had to follow Goten's instructions. Host, please prepare. The bloodline fusion will start in a minute. During the process, there may be significant pain. Endure it. The system's voice echoed in his mind. Goten began counting down the seconds, silently. He recalled the excruciating pain from his last bloodline fusion, which felt like every bone in his body was being shattered and reformed. This time, fusing 3 bloodlines, the pain would undoubtedly be even more intense. As the countdown ended, a heart-piercing pain surged through every inch of his body. Ugh. The agony of bone reconstruction made Goten grit his teeth. However, he could bear this physical pain compared to being trapped in the void for 75 years. This was relatively mild. Physical pain could never compare to mental trauma. Time ticked by slowly. Every inch of his bones and skin seemed to be undergoing transformation. The pain persisted for 10 minutes. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully fusing the bloodlines. The system's notification rang in his mind, and the pain gradually subsided. Tien, that the power of plot armor prevails. Grime covered his body, and sweat had soaked most of the ground. Goten felt the earth-shaking changes within him. Clenching his fists slightly, he sensed the power surging like a raging ocean. This newfound power was significantly stronger than before. Not only had his normal power increased, but his transformation power had also risen exponentially. It feels so good. This strength is incredible, Goten exclaimed, feeling the immense power coursing through him. This was an unprecedented sensation. With this power, he believed he was closer to the level of the Grand Priest, especially in his Limit Break Super Saiyan. He wanted to test his strength. Closing his eyes briefly, he reopened them, releasing a terrifying grass-green Kekara. His pupils turned golden, and his hair remained grass-green. Though his appearance had not changed much, the force he exuded was immense, far surpassing his previous level. Rebel! The hyperbolic time chamber's dimensional space collapsed under the pressure of his power. Even though Goten was restraining his aura, had he not, the entire 7th universe might have been destroyed. Meanwhile, on Earth, Goku and Vegeta felt Goten's powerful ki as they trained in Bulma's custom-made villa. They immediately stopped, horror etched on their faces. What? This powerful force is Goten's ki. How is it possible? How could Goten's aura reach this level? This is too terrifying, Goku exclaimed in shock. Even here, I can feel the oppressive feeling. Although they knew Goten's strength was immense before, this new power was truly shocking. Even Beerus was not a match for Goten. But the power now being released was beyond their imagination. It felt like a bottomless abyss, impossible to gauge, even from a great distance, and despite Goten reining it in, they still felt the threat of death from his aura. Can a mortal really reach such a level? Goku wondered aloud, incredulous. Unbelievable. Vegeta exclaimed, "Damn it, he's just a half-breed. Why is he so much stronger than us?" Vegeta was beginning to doubt everything. Goten's current strength was beyond anything they could conceive, filling him with both shock and jealousy. Kakarot, it seems that in another timeline, you really gave birth to a monster. How did he become so powerful? Vegeta complained. He couldn't understand why the Goten in their timeline had shown only mediocre talent after breaking through Super Saiyan as a kid, despite constant training, while the Goten from another timeline had achieved unimaginable strength. "How could I know?" Goku replied, helplessly. He too was at a loss to explain what had made the Goten from another timeline so powerful. It was no exaggeration to say that this Goten might already be stronger than an angel, something they had never dared to imagine before. Meanwhile, in the realm of the god of destruction of the seventh universe, Beerus was enjoying Earth's delicacies. When he was suddenly taken aback, the delicacies fell from his hands as he looked in a certain direction in horror. This power, Whis, can you feel it? This extremely powerful aura, Beerus asked, his face a mask of shock. Yes, Lord Beerus, the aura just now belonged to Goten. It's unbelievable. In a short period, his strength seems to have made a huge breakthrough. There is no doubt that this force has become so powerful that even we angels are afraid of it, Whis replied, his expression equally solemn. Previously, Goten had shown exceptional fighting talent and strength, surpassing even the god of destruction. But at that time, he hadn't displayed his full strength, and Whis never thought Goten could surpass an angel. Now, his entire perception was shattered. Goten's power seemed not only to surpass the level of an angel, but far exceed it. "This Goten's a monster," Beerus exclaimed. "If Lord Zeno and the Grand Priest find out, it will be a disaster. The increase in mortal power in the universe should be a good thing for the gods. However, Goten was a mortal from another timeline with more powerful energy than both the god of destruction and the angels. If the Grand Priest and Zeno discovered this powerful mortal, the situation could become troublesome. If they realized Goten was from another timeline and that the gods of destruction had done nothing, they might face severe punishment. It is possible, Lord Beerus. If it were ordinary power, it would be impossible to reach Lord Zeno's palace. But now Goten's power includes mortal, god, and angel energy, specifically that of Angel Murno. If the Grand Priest senses it, he will definitely investigate, Whis said very seriously. Murno had been gone for hundreds of millions of years, and now his angel aura had suddenly reappeared. If the Grand Priest sensed this, he would surely come to investigate. If the Grand Priest was dispatched, the situation would become dire. Beerus's expression grew even grimmer upon hearing this. But there was nothing he could do. His strength couldn't match Goten's, nor could he punish him. Driving Goten away was almost impossible for him, and even for Whis. Just after Beerus sensed the immense force, the gods of destruction and angels from other universes began to detect it as well. The aura from Goten had not only spread throughout the seventh universe, but had reached all the surrounding universes. All the angels and gods of destruction were astonished. In their experience, aside from Zeno and the Grand Priest, there didn't seem to be any other being with such overwhelming power. What was even more surprising was that this aura was mixed with mortal ki, indicating it was not purely divine. This revelation shocked them even further. At the same time, the Grand Priest in Zeno's palace also felt this incredible force, especially recognizing the familiar angel power. This is Murno's angel power? The Grand Priest wondered aloud, what's happening? Murno's aura has appeared suddenly, but Murno himself is not here. The aura belongs to him, but he is not present. He noted the presence of mortal power, divine power, and destructive power. This mixture was unprecedented, and it was something he had never encountered before. Even after observing the 12 universes, no being possessed such a powerful and unique combination. The Grand Priest's normally calm demeanor was replaced by an expression of shock. Though he usually maintained a serene and unshakable facade, the power he had just sensed was so immense that it rivaled even his own. The Grand Priest was puzzled. The Force combined mortal, angel, and God of Destruction auras simultaneously, something he had never seen before. There was no such being in the 12 universes. Meanwhile, the two guards beside Zeno also felt the powerful force. Their brows raised slightly in surprise. It had been a long time since they had sensed such a significant power, far surpassing that of the usual gods of destruction. Zeno, however, seemed unaware of the situation, continuing to play with his favorite marbles, which were actually planets from the universe. After playing for over 10 minutes, he appeared a bit bored and turned to look at the Grand Priest. Noticing the Grand Priest's frown, Zeno's childish voice asked curiously, "Grand Priest, you seem troubled. Did something happen in the universe?" The Grand Priest, who was always smiling, had not shown such a serious expression in many years. He responded respectfully and sincerely, "Yes, Lord Zeno, I just felt an extremely powerful aura, which seems to have originated from the 7th universe. This aura surpasses all gods of destruction and angels, reaching an unprecedented level. We have never encountered such a powerful being in the 12 universes, and it has piqued my curiosity." The Grand Priest was eager to find out who could wield such immense power. This force even seemed to surpass that of the dragon god, Zalama. If the owner of this aura was not benevolent, it could pose a threat to the 12 universes. Huh? Is there someone this remarkable? Zeno asked in surprise. By seeing his surprise, one wouldn't know if this guy really didn't perceive this powerful aura before, or he was just pretending all the time. From his expression, it seemed that he was genuinely interested. "Lord Zeno, what the Grand Priest said is absolutely correct," one of Zeno's guards confirmed. "We also felt the powerful aura. It not only fused the power of a god of destruction, but also the power of an angel. It's a formidable adversary." The guards were also deeply shocked by the aura, having never encountered such overwhelming power in their long history. If this being were an opponent, even they would find it extremely challenging. "Hey, is there really something this extraordinary happening?" Zeno exclaimed. "You three are taking it so seriously. Now I'm very interested in this person you mentioned, Grand Priest. Why don't you bring him here? I'd like to see who possesses such incredible power. He might be quite an interesting fellow." Having heard the same from both the Grand Priest and his guards, Zeno's interest was piqued. Such a powerful fighter deserved a closer look. "Okay, Lord Zeno, that's what I thought just now. There is such a powerful character in the universe, so I naturally want to meet him." The Grand Priest nodded quickly and smiled. As Zeno's attendant, he had the obligation to inspect this universe thoroughly. If the owner of the aura that appeared just now was a vicious person, he was also obliged to completely erase it. "Then, Lord Zeno, I'm going." After the Grand Priest spoke respectfully to Zeno, he walked out of Zeno's palace. After leaving Zeno's palace, a purple void rift suddenly appeared in front of the Grand Priest. He stepped into it and finally disappeared completely. When he appeared again, he was already in the God of Destruction realm of the 7th universe. The reason he didn't go directly to that guy was because he wanted to ask the 7th universe God of Destruction Beerus and Angel Whis what had happened. At the moment the Grand Priest appeared, Beerus was so scared he fell to the ground. Whis also knelt down respectfully in front of him. It seemed that, in his eyes, the Grand Priest was more threatening than Zeno. As an angel himself, he had more respect for the Grand Priest than Zeno. "We greet the Grand Priest. I don't know why you are here. What's your order?" Beerus asked, in a trembling tone, his face full of horror. However, he was also very clear in his heart that the Grand Priest came because of what happened with Goten just now. The Grand Priest had not left the Temple of Zeno for tens of millions of years. The last time he appeared in the 7th universe was tens of millions of years ago. So his sudden appearance now, especially after Goten burst out with a powerful aura, obviously had something to do with Goten. Both Whis and Beerus were very clear about this. God of Destruction of the 7th universe. An extremely powerful force suddenly appeared in your universe just now. "Do you know what's going on?" the Grand Priest asked. After the Grand Priest's voice fell, Beerus shrank his neck in shock. He obviously didn't know what to do at this point. If he told the Grand Priest the truth, he would definitely be punished. After all, for a god of destruction to actually tolerate people traveling through timelines at will, this clearly violated the rules of the gods. If he lied, the outcome might be even more serious. He might be erased directly. So at this moment, he was in a dilemma. He never expected that Goten would release such a powerful force, alarming both Zeno and the Grand Priest. Whis, seeing Beerus' dilemma, hurriedly said, "Lord Grand Priest, the one who released the breath just now was a Saiyan from the 7th universe. His strength is indeed very strong. In the battle with Lord Beerus a month ago, he defeated Lord Beerus with ease. According to my guess, his strength has far surpassed those of us, angels. Such a powerful existence is beyond our control." Whis didn't tell the Grand Priest the complete truth. If he did, Beerus would definitely be punished. Having been with Beerus for hundreds of millions of years, the two had a good relationship. He wouldn't put Beerus in danger unless absolutely necessary. Judging from the aura just now, you are indeed no match for him. Even if I want to defeat him, it will not be so easy, the Grand Priest said seriously, nodding. Such a powerful aura couldn't be compared to a mere god of destruction. He hoped that guy didn't become a threat to the universe. Otherwise, he would erase him without hesitation. What? Even with your strength, you can't easily defeat that guy? After hearing the Grand Priest's words, Whis and Beerus showed surprised expressions. Although they knew Goten was incredibly strong, even Whis, who was an angel, couldn't perceive how powerful Goten was. But hearing the Grand Priest say this made their hearts tumble, with waves of shock crashing through them. For all the angels, the Grand Priest was the most powerful existence above the universe. Not even he could easily beat Goten. How could a mere mortal reach such a level? Beerus was already frightened silly. If even the Grand Priest said that, it seemed that Goten was indeed very remarkable. Okay, since this is the case, you two will come with me. Lord Zeno and I both have a very strong interest in that Saiyan, the Grand Priest said calmly. He was interested in that Saiyan, not only because his strength was extraordinary. In the entire universe, the number of people who could beat him could be counted on one hand. More importantly, in the Saiyan's aura just now, he felt Murno's angel power. This was what shocked him the most. Murno had done some foolish things in the past which caused the 13th universe to be completely destroyed by Zeno. As an unqualified angel, Murno was completely sealed by the Grand Priest himself. The seal had not been lifted until now, so he didn't understand why that mortal had Murno's angel power. Okay, Lord Grand Priest. Beerus and Whis also nodded respectfully. They hoped nothing would go wrong, otherwise the 7th universe might face a huge crisis. The trio then left the God of Destruction realm and headed to Earth. On Earth, at the lookout, Goten had withdrawn his aura and returned to normal. After walking out of the hyperbolic time chamber, the lookout was already in a mess, with debris from the explosion everywhere. Dende and Mr. Popo looked at the destroyed hyperbolic time chamber in bewilderment. However, this was not the first time the hyperbolic time chamber had been destroyed. Guys like Goku and Vegeta had broken the hyperbolic time chamber a couple of times, but it was always repaired by Mr. Popo. "I'm so sorry, Dende. I didn't control my strength just now, so I destroyed the hyperbolic time chamber," Goten said, somewhat awkwardly. "It's okay. Goten. The hyperbolic time chamber has been destroyed several times, and it was always restored by Mr. Popo. This time, Mr. Popo can also fix it quickly, so you don't have to worry about it," Dende said with a smile. Just now, he had felt Goten's god aura. This made him realize that Goten was definitely someone not to be provoked. And since the other party's tone was polite now, he naturally didn't want to provoke him either. Kami-sama, the hyperbolic time chamber, may not be repairable this time. Before Goku and Vegeta just blasted a hole in the dimensional space of the hyperbolic time chamber. But this time, the hyperbolic time chamber has been completely blown up, which means it is completely gone. So even if it's me, I can't do it, Mr. Popo said with a serious face and a somewhat conservative tone. The degree of destruction this time was different from the previous ones. This time, the hyperbolic time chamber had completely disappeared. Then forget it, Dende said with an awkward smile. The hyperbolic time chamber was not that important to the two of them. It was Goku and Vegeta who might suffer from this matter in the future, as the hyperbolic time chamber probably wouldn't be available from today onwards. I'm really sorry. I didn't expect this kind of thing to happen, Goten continued apologetically. It's okay, no problem. Dende shook his head quickly. As they were talking, a purple void rift suddenly appeared in the sky above the lookout. In the next second, 3 extremely familiar figures emerged from the rift. The one standing in the middle was the Grand Priest, with Beerus and Whis on either side. The moment he saw the Grand Priest, the smile on Goten's face froze, and then disappeared. Little by little, his face became gloomy, and he clenched his fist tightly, staring at the Grand Priest. "That's Lord Beerus," Dende said in horror after seeing Beerus. Although the relationship between the fighters on Earth and Beerus was not bad, as a lower-ranked god, the fear of the god of destruction came from his heart. This fear would not disappear easily. "You guys, hurry up and greet the Grand Priest," Beerus said hurriedly to everyone. He was afraid that neglecting the Grand Priest would implicate him. After seeing Beerus's expression, Dende and Mr. Popo hurriedly greeted them. "Lord Grand Priest," they said respectfully. Dende, who was from Namek, had a very polite personality. Goten, however, was unfazed. If it hadn't happened before, he would have maintained his respect upon seeing the Grand Priest. But since that incident, he had no affection for the Grand Priest. Bowing his head to him again was impossible. With his current ability, even if he couldn't beat the Grand Priest, he could ensure the Grand Priest couldn't pose too much of a threat to him. "Goten, what are you doing? Hurry up and greet the Grand Priest." Seeing that Goten was unmoved, Beerus was immediately frightened and began to sweat profusely. Goten's strength was immense, and Beerus was no match for him. If Goten refused to greet the Grand Priest as the god of destruction, there was nothing Beerus could do. "I have admired your name for a long time, Grand Priest." After hearing what Beerus said, Goten didn't want to make things too difficult for him. With a sneer at the corner of his mouth, he greeted the Grand Priest. Previously, he had addressed him with the Lord title, but now he felt the Grand Priest was not worthy of it. It's really interesting. The Grand Priest smiled and didn't seem to mind Goten's attitude. "Goten, was that powerful aura just released by you?" he asked, though he already knew the answer. The moment he saw Goten, he knew the powerful aura was from this mortal. Although he was extremely surprised, the truth was clear. "That's right, the aura just now was indeed released by me. However, even a big shot like you, Grand Priest, has been attracted here. It seems I didn't rein in my strength properly," Goten said flatly. He was telling the truth. He hadn't expected to attract the Grand Priest, but he wasn't afraid. Even if it came to a direct confrontation, he felt that the Grand Priest couldn't defeat him quickly. Moreover, with the dimensional portal and time ring, very few people could hurt him. "Hey, it seems you are a little dissatisfied with me. Why? Have I done something that made you uncomfortable?" The Grand Priest felt that Goten's tone was a bit off, but in his memory, he had never seen such a mortal. He hadn't left Zeno's palace in tens of millions of years. No matter how long a mortal's lifespan was, it was impossible for one to live that long. As a Grand Priest, he didn't think he would remember this incorrectly. After hearing the Grand Priest's words, Goten's expression didn't change much, but Beerus was so frightened he nearly fell down. Frightened, he quickly replied, No. There is absolutely no such thing. Goten has never met you, so how could he be dissatisfied with you? This is absolutely impossible. Please, Grand Priest, don't think so. Goten just hasn't seen the big world, so he can't imagine how powerful you are. While speaking, Beerus quickly winked at Goten, feeling as if he was about to wet himself in fright. He felt that his life was hanging by a thread. Yes, Beerus is absolutely right, Goten said, seeing Beerus's terrified expression. Although he particularly hated the Grand Priest, he couldn't leave Beerus hanging. "So, that's the case. It looks like I was really overthinking," the Grand Priest nodded. He seemed to understand. After all, a mortal with strength beyond a god of destruction and an angel had almost reached his own level. It was understandable to be proud and arrogant. The mortal in front of him did have that kind of capital. "Goten, please come with me. Lord Zeno wants to see you," the Grand Priest said seriously. "What? Lord Zeno?" As expected, he knows. This is so bad. Beerus didn't know how to describe his mood at the moment. Today was truly a stimulating day. After hesitating for a moment, Goten nodded. "Okay, then I'll go with you. He had nothing to fear now. With the time ring, he could freely travel through any timeline. He now had 5 time rings, which meant he had 5 lives, so even if he went to meet Zeno, it shouldn't be a big problem. The Zeno of this timeline was not from his own timeline. It was possible that he was simply curious about Goten's power. Okay, let's go then. Whis, you two go back by yourselves, the Grand Priest ordered. Then Goten flashed and appeared in front of the Grand Priest. Soon, the two disappeared together with the purple void rift. Beerus felt even more miserable now. Zeno was more difficult to deal with than the Grand Priest. Moreover, his temperament was changeable, and his personality was as unpredictable as a child's. If Goten maintained his defiant personality, it was very likely to cause big trouble.
Lord Beerus, don't worry too much. Although Goten's character is indeed arrogant, I don't think he is the kind of person who has no limits. After seeing Lord Zeno, he won't say arrogant things. Whis comforted Beerus, seeing his miserable face. But his consolation didn't have much effect on Beerus. He had seen Goten's performance just now. How could someone who didn't care about the Grand Priest pay attention to Zeno? It was clear that Goten had no idea of the horrors of Zeno and the Grand Priest. Just pray that's the case. Otherwise, our entire 7th universe might be wiped out by Lord Zeno. Although Beerus was very distressed, there was nothing he could do. This matter was beyond his ability to intervene. If Goten was smart enough, he wouldn't say something stupid. But if he was foolish, then he and the entire 7th universe might pay a heavy price. Meanwhile, under the guidance of the Grand Priest, Goten once again arrived at the familiar Zeno's palace. .10, this is Lord Zeno's palace. However, I must remind you that Lord Zeno's temperament is a bit like a child's, making it hard to understand. No matter what attitude you used with me, when meeting Lord Zeno, it's best to remain polite and respectful. Otherwise, no matter how strong you are, you may fall here, the Grand Priest kindly reminded. He had followed Zeno for hundreds of millions of years, yet he still couldn't figure out Zeno's character. Well, I see. Dot nodded. He was quite familiar with Zeno's unpredictable character. Honestly, with his current strength, he didn't fear the Grand Priest. Even if he wasn't the Grand Priest's opponent yet, killing him wouldn't be simple. But with Zeno, it was completely different. Zeno had mastered the supreme law power in the entire multiverse universe. One thought could erase everything he didn't like. Although Goten's strength was immense, he didn't think he could overcome Zeno. He didn't think his strength could resist Zeno's erasure. So, it was better to be low-key. Then let's go! After the Grand Priest spoke, he led the way. Goten followed. A few minutes later, they arrived at the huge Zeno's temple. In the entire temple, there were only Zeno and his 2 guards. It seemed a bit lonely. Lord Zeno, I have brought the person you were looking for, the Grand Priest said respectfully. Great! Grand Priest, you were so quick. Zeno looked excited. Then looking at Goten, he asked in a cute voice, So, what's your name? My name is Goten. Goten replied, neither humble nor overbearing. The previous incident had made him deeply resent Zeno and the Grand Priest. So when he saw them again, he wasn't overly polite. Although the Grand Priest and Zeno in this timeline weren't the same as those in his own timeline, their personalities shouldn't be much different. Goten didn't like them. Goten, just now, the Grand Priest said he felt a very powerful force. Was it you who released it? In that case, your strength should be very strong, Zeno said to Goten, his tone unchanged, with a lot of interest in his eyes. Such an interesting and powerful mortal hadn't been seen in a long time. Yes. Goten nodded again. Then he glanced at Zeno's 2 guards. Both of them stared fiercely at Goten with wide-open eyes as if they wanted to devour him directly. In hundreds of millions of years, no god dared to answer questions in such a lazy tone in front of Zeno, let alone a mere mortal. If Zeno showed any displeasure, they would completely destroy Goten in an instant. But Goten was lucky. Zeno wasn't angry. Seeing the expression of the 2 guards as if they were about to eat him, the Goten showed disdain. Although Zeno's 2 guards were powerful, he wasn't afraid of them. If there was a fight, Goten was sure he could kill them both. Grand Priest, this Goten is so powerful. What do you think should be done?
Zeno asked, looking at the Grand Priest. With such strength, Goten didn't even have the identity of a god. This was indeed a bit inappropriate. Lord Zeno, Goten's strength has surpassed the gods of destruction in all universes. In my opinion, let's replace a certain god of destruction and let him become the new god of destruction of that universe. The Grand Priest smiled and suggested. Given the power Goten had displayed, he was truly qualified to be a god of destruction. It seems very good. However, with such a powerful force, would it be fair for him to only become a single universe's god of destruction? I think Goten is suited for a higher position, Zeno said after a moment of thought. The current gods of destruction were too weak compared to Goten. It seemed inappropriate for Goten to be one of them. Then what do you think it should be? The Grand Priest asked. Grand Priest, hasn't the position of Grand God of Destruction always been vacant? I think with Goten's strength, he can fill that role perfectly, Zeno suggested. He felt this idea was familiar, as if he had mentioned it before, but he couldn't recall where. Lord Zeno's words are indeed very appropriate. Originally, this position was to be chosen from among the 12 gods of destruction, but none of them seemed to want to make progress. Therefore, the position has remained vacant. The power that Goten just erupted is strong enough to completely crush all the gods of destruction. So it is indeed appropriate for him to inherit this position, the Grand Priest said thoughtfully. The other 12 gods of destruction were unprogressive. Especially after becoming gods of destruction, they hardly trained. Such a mentality and strength were not suitable for the grand god of destruction. On the other hand, Goten was a bit confused. He thought to himself, what are these two trying to sell? Are they asking me to be a god of destruction? However, he remembered hearing about the position of Grand God of Destruction from the previous Grand Priest in another timeline. When he fought against the Grand Priest, he heard this title mentioned and knew Zeno had intended to make him the Grand God of Destruction. But due to subsequent events, he lost interest. Now, unexpectedly, in this timeline, they had the same plans. So, Goten, are you interested in becoming the Grand God of Destruction? If you become the Grand God of Destruction, you will have very high authority. Zeno asked. The Grand Priest added, the Grand God of Destruction has the right to command all gods of destruction and angels. At the same time, after becoming the Grand God of Destruction, you will master a higher level of destruction law. For ordinary people, this kind of temptation was quite significant. Even all the gods of destruction coveted this position, but they were unqualified. The current Goten had the strength to be qualified. In this world, strength was always respected. A higher level of destruction laws? Goten asked, showing slight interest. If it was just a title, he had no interest. But if it could improve his mastery over the destruction laws, he could consider it. After all, the power of destruction was also a power of laws. If he could upgrade his power of destruction again, he might counter Zeno's power of laws. Although this idea was absurd, he could try it. However, he had a bigger concern. Then who is the Supreme Kai who corresponds to the Grand God of Destruction? Goten asked. This was what he cared about most. Every god of destruction had a corresponding Supreme Kai, and their fates were linked. If one died, the other would disappear too. If he were bonded with another Supreme Kai, he would not accept the position. The temptation of higher destructive power was not that great. Corresponding Supreme Kai? Gods of destruction have corresponding Supreme Kais, but the Grand God of Destruction is not a god of destruction. It is an identity similar to mine, so there is no corresponding Supreme Kai, the Grand Priest explained with a smile, after a moment of surprise.